All right, here we go. Looks like we're live. Kevin, did you turn your lights down again?
No, turn them up. Want me to turn them, crank it up some more?
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if we get any complaints from Lola. We'll see what happens here. All right, I believe
Okay.
that we're live. We're feeding out to the folks out there. If you guys can hear us, audio and all that's good. Let us know if you need more light on Diximus Maximus. I don't blame you. You know, sometimes you want to get a clear view of what you're about to get hit with. Um, let us know. We'll be
Ain't
will
looking
be
good.
yeah, that looks good right there, KD. All right, so
Good.
listen, all of that being said, you guys know how the new format flows here. So big shout out to everyone listening to us on audio. And if you want to join us live, you have to go to Utreon. Utreon / WMMF podcast is the place to go. Who Moved My Freedom podcast. We're broadcasting live from there for the folks who are getting the replay on YouTube so we can handle guns or, straps, as KD says. All right,
That's right.
so that being said, I am going to start this off here, so just stand by.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory provides 100% US made firearms and awesome binary option triggers. Their focus and purpose is to provide freedom tools to all Americans, especially those in not so free states. So when you're in the market, please consider Franklin Armory. All right, that's it. We are here. This is the Who Moved My Freedom podcast, as you already know. This is episode 854 of said podcast, and my guest is Kevin Dixie of NOC, No Other Choice, Diximus Maximus, as he's referred. Oh, he's actually switching his hat around. Okay.
Well, I saw it was kind of dark. I was like, people need to be able to see this wonderful, lovely face, man. That's
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, and we're not getting the garage. You're out of the garage apparently.
Yeah, see?
What's
I'm
going
not in the
on?
garage. I'm actually at my desk where I pretend to do work.
Why are you all official now? What the hell is what's happening?
Hey, I mean, you want to get into it now? You want to
Yeah,
wait a couple
let's.
minutes?
No, it's up to you. This section here, we got 19 minutes to talk about whatever you want to, since we're welcome.
All right.
What? Actually,
Hey,
listen. First of all, Happy New Year. I don't. No,
a
I don't
happy
think.
new year to you too.
Yeah, I don't think we've communicated this year. So this is the first time KD is here on the show this year. Won't be the last time.
Nope.
Um.
And happy new year to everyone else out there. I haven't been with you guys in a while, so it's good to be. I'm live on the chat now, so I can see it. So
Oh, you.
good to see
Oh boy,
everybody out
that's
there.
trouble. That's trouble. If you can
Yeah,
see the
I try
chat,
not
that's
to look
trouble.
down at it and get too distracted. It'd be some be some action in the chat.
Yes, exactly. People deliberately trying to get KD going, or KD getting distracted by somebody in the chat who probably said something that came out wrong, or KD read it wrong, whatever, and that everything goes crazy from there. Uh huh.
Hey, that's the beautiful thing about the Hang Strange show. We talk like family. We just gonna talk. It ain't nothing
Yeah,
personal. It's all love.
absolutely, 100%. So what's up? What's up with you? What's the haps, man? Let's start there. What's happening?
You know what, man? I got to be honest. I'm not a New Year's resolutionist in that way, but I've been on this kick for like the last 5 months, and I've just been trying to position myself to do it. So I am really entering or right at the genesis stage of um, a self improvement for me. I believe, and I'm not ashamed of anything. I don't take anything back, and I wish I would have done more in the phases that I've already passed. But I think I've done decently at giving to other people, being about the movements that I'm involved in. Gun rights, civil rights, self improvement, mentorship, and all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been giving so much that I forgot about me, and then
Okay.
being a dad, being a husband, obviously giving to my family as much as I possibly can, and there can be some improvement there as well. So now, man, to be honest with you, I'm just this is the year about getting back to me. I want to read more books. I want to get my weight back under control. I probably gained 45 pounds unnecessarily over the last year and a half. I want to get my weight back under control, and start taking a step back and seeing how I can come back and be better for everyone, including myself. So that's kind of where I'm at, man. A lot of self reflection with that. getting rid of some of the people in my life or my circle that had too much access to me. I tell people all the time, like, be careful who's parasitic around you. And and it's not one of those, oh, I can just dismiss people. I'm not easy to dismiss people, but I want a certain kind of energy around me in this chapter of life that's coming up for me. And it even comes down to small things like improving my setup. So me, you, Jonathan, Tactical Toolbox,
Mm-hmm.
Jared, Guns and Gadgets, you guys are obviously light years ahead of me when it comes to tech, right? Like, and so you guys sat there and you all coached me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You all, hey man, this is what you would need, this is what you would want to look at, and hey, you've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do this, and I actually forgot to tag you on one of my stories. I felt bad about it because I don't remember till the story expired.
Oh, no,
But
that's cool, man.
uh,
I mean, I'm not even up on social media like I used to be in the past, you know. I just hit and
that,
run over there. So, but I mean, if I need to share something or whatever that you did on social media, please let me know so I can go up there on there and get it done for you.
okay, no, it wasn't a big deal. It was just
Mm-hmm.
me kind of showing a new setup. So even now,
Mm-hmm.
and why I'm
Oh, let
bringing
me
this
go.
up
Let
is
me go look at
because
that then while we're talking about it. You posted the new setup.
the story's gone. It's gone. It was a
Oh,
story. It
oh,
expired.
oh, damn.
Um,
Okay.
the the when you're talking about getting rid of or setting to the side parasitic people, you don't want to forget about the people that actually do pour into you, right? That actually will give you their time, their advice, their resources. Uh, so you want to be thankful for that. So when I listen to people, I don't like wasting their time. If you're going to have a conversation with me and educate me on something that you have knowledge about that I don't, and I'm the one that asked you, like, I want to make sure that my reward to you is showing you that I listen to you, which is
Mm-hmm.
what I hope people do when I give them information, and I always have over the years. So even now, I took that conversation we all had up at Barnauls, man, and I really took it to heart. So right now, what's recording me is a Sony Alpha 6600,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted the lives to look better.
It looks
I this
great. It
new
looks awesome, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
Fantastic.
Thank
Look
you.
at
I'm
that.
trying to
Yeah,
I'm
man.
trying to figure out like where I should be sitting and what angle
No,
it
you're
should be
good. I
kept.
think, yeah. No, you're
I'm
doing
figuring
it.
out where.
Your room is kind of actually. This is, you know what the problem is. I should set it up. This is the way I should actually set it up because of the way that you're facing. But I don't know if it makes any sense, right? Like, because you're that way. But so if I
Right.
do it, but if I do it like, you know what? It probably makes more sense like that. Well, no. So then I got to go that.
It, it,
Yeah.
I don't know. Looks the same to me.
It doesn't matter.
Looks
It
the same
looks.
to me.
Yeah, you look great though. I'm glad. Where'd you get this? Is this the camera that we were talking about? I know someone.
Yeah. So actually, one of the guys at Roy, not Roy, Jesus, and now I feel horrible. But one of the guys up around Nails,
Cody? Is it Cody
no,
or
I wasn't Cody. God, man, now I feel horrible. I really do. I
is it
feel
one of
horrible.
Royce? Is it one of Roy's crew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I
I
mean,
feel
it's
really horrible
only
about
it's
that. But
either
now,
is it
now I
it's
can't
either
move forward until.
Cody or
Nah, it wasn't Cody. Randy.
oh Randy. Randy. Okay,
Yeah, Randy.
Randy.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Randy. So
yeah,
Randy at
yeah.
Brownells,
That's actually Roy's boss right there.
right, jumped in the conversation,
Get it
and he
right.
had a couple of cameras,
Uh huh.
gave some advice, and he's
Mhm.
like, he cut me a great deal. I'm not going to put it out there, but he did me an awesome favor on the camera.
Mhm.
That camera has since, because I got the 6600, that camera was kind of redundant.
Mhm.
Right, the 65 to the 66, what I wanted to use it for. But I got this one, now I'm using it to actually do this podcast that you see on the background here on this
Mhm.
beautiful curved
It's
monitor.
so that
That
SS is
monitor.
for Stogies and Straps.
Yep, that is the logo.
Okay. Cool.
Um, got the
Lola
camera,
says
then got
setup
the
looks
company.
good, KD. That's from Lola. Just passing that on.
Oh, thank you. And
Yeah.
then, when it comes to doing content creation, I told everybody, like, look, I am going to start producing more gun content, more reviews, things like that, especially toward the middle of the year. A lot of that stuff will be coming out. So I went out and got this doodad and doohickey.
Oh, nice.
Um, so this is the Sony Alpha 7 IV, the new
Okay.
one,
Mhm. Mhm.
on the RS2. And I'll show when we get to gadgets and guns, I'll show you what this thing does. But I
That's
really,
badass, man. I've seen a lot. That's pretty good from what I hear in low light and all that.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's impressive to say the least.
Mhm.
as I'm doing more education and learning more. Like it's pretty cool. So that between that, the computer I'm even on now, got the 3080 graphics card in a
Is
PC to
that
make sure.
one screen? Is that curving thing one screen?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Damn.
that's one 49-inch
Mm-hmm.
curved screen.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But it's great because you know
No,
what?
I'm
So I tell
digging
you,
it.
it receives up to 8K. So
Mm-hmm.
as I grow with the editing software, right now I'm in 5K, I think. So as I
Mm-hmm.
grow with the editing software, capabilities can go all the way up to 8, which probably be there in another year. Everybody be using 8K for all I know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. But the cool thing about these screens, they're not. I mean, it hurt my pocket a little bit to buy it, but I wanted it. But it actually, it splits up. So I basically have between my standard PC and this thing, 4 to 5 monitors because it splits. You can have different things going on
Mm-hmm.
at one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The technology out there is amazing, and getting better and better. I know people. There's even you can get 8K cameras. Believe it or not, man, I'm still shooting. I'm still doing everything in HD.
Oh, really? Well,
But
ain't
yeah,
nothing wrong with HD.
yeah. But there's a lot of people I know that say, well, at least shoot in 4K, and then for later on, it's not going to look so bad when everyone bumps up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just, you know what? I need to upgrade my computer, and that's the thing that's holding me back from really doing a lot of 4K stuff. So,
Hmm.
which I am in the, just like you're saying, I'm in the process. I actually bought my computer more than, man, I bought my computer 2 months ago. Still haven't, they haven't even told me if they're shipping it. So,
Mm.
that's my status right now. I bought the new Apple. Um, and the new Apple MacBook Pro, and they're
Hmm.
not even shipping that thing yet. So
Well,
I'm
you ahead of the game there, homie.
I'm sitting here waiting. I'm like, okay. So hopefully, hopefully that will help me in terms of being bumping up, right? Because that was the next thing I was going to ask you. If you're doing all that, you probably upgraded your computer too. What do you like, Mac or you PC for?
I'm a PC guy, man.
Okay.
I'm a PC and PlayStation dude. Like I don't like
Mhm.
changing up a lot.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what I'm using right now to even stream this is a main gear. It's got the 3080 graphics card in it. It's got a really fast processor.
Mhm.
I caught it on sale right around. It wasn't Black Friday. When did I get this thing? I think it was New Year's sale. Might have been Christmas. I don't know,
Okay.
but it wasn't Black Friday. But
Mhm.
I grabbed it from Micro Center. This thing is it's really fast. It's super duper fast actually. So it exceeds my capabilities, and the graphics card being a 3080 and having the right processor, and it allows me to do any kind of 4K editing or even
Mhm.
1080p. Obviously, it'll be even easier. But
Mhm.
it can also handle the 5K, 6K, and 8K if I needed it to. So
Mhm.
I always try to buy stuff that grows with you, even though technology outdates itself really fast.
Mhm.
But yeah, I upgraded to it. I would turn the camera to look at it, but I don't know if that'll be weird if I can.
Yeah. You could take a picture and text it to me and I'll throw it up for the people.
Okay.
Well, so what's your hard drive thing? Did you upgrade hard drives too, or
It's
cuz
got an
all of
internal.
this all of this is a chain reaction, man. When you
Yeah. Right
This
now,
is a
it's got a
train reaction. Hmm.
which hard drive was that in? That is in here. I
By the way,
definitely
Night
know.
Night Train said once you go with Apple, you never go back to Microsoft. I agree. And I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
like
one.
Apple. As a company, I do not like Apple. I don't like them. I hate the fact that I'm supporting them. And I even okay, so this is like personal stuff or whatever. But to get
Yep.
that computer, I even went and got the Apple Card, which I was like, I'm not getting that there. I'm not. I don't want to give them any more business. But to get
Mm-hmm.
the new thing, I was like, oh no, these things are expensive. They get more and more expensive every year. So I was like, all right, I guess I gotta go get that Apple Card, you know, and get all up in the Apple ecosystem. They're not my favorite company at all. I don't like what they do, but once you use, as a creative person, once you start using their stuff, you get, because as this is my interpretation, you could tell me if I'm wrong or maybe if that's changing nowadays. But with PCs, there's so many things that are just you have to go more steps to get it set up versus like if you're doing stuff on a Mac. It's more
What do you mean
intuitive.
by like you talking about like editing or?
Like if your sound card, sometimes you have problems getting that the right drivers or for it to work properly or whatever with this sound card or this thing or that thing.
You
That's
know what,
just
man?
been my thing. Hmm.
To be honest with you, I haven't had those kind of problems. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in fairness, I only do so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm not pushing the capacity to run into those type of issues,
Mm-hmm.
which is why for me it's like what's simple, what works, and what can I hit the ground rolling with. If I would
Mm-hmm.
have, there are Apple products in my house. My kids like Apple, and my wife likes Apple.
Mm-hmm.
But every time they like give me their phone, I'm like, just go to Safari. I'm like, where is I don't have
Uh-huh.
time to be trying to learn. I'm trying to get off, get running. And I'm just comfortable with it. The PC stuff, like even what I have
This
now,
is what
exceeds.
Katie said. You just showed us the keyboard, Katie.
I
Oh
did.
wait, is this
Did
a screen? Your computer keyboard has like this is like a little graphic screen built into it.
no,
What's
that
going?
is showing you some of the spec.
Oh, some of the spec. So you just closed up on the specs of the people who want the specs. So there you go.
Yeah,
All right, there you go. But we don't get to see the whole setup.
I did. I sent it to you. I sent you. Oh, hold on. Did I send you like three of them?
Oh wait, okay, maybe it just didn't come through yet.
Maybe I tripped. Maybe I sent one. And
No, maybe it
oh,
didn't
here it
come
is. Hold
through.
on. Those didn't go through. Okay, it's coming now. Yeah, you should have two
Um.
more coming.
Oh yeah, I see another one. So
It should be closer to the keyboard too.
this is a laptop.
Yeah, so it's a laptop. Yeah, I didn't build. I have to be able to travel with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Yeah.
you can get more if you build a tower, but I got to be able to move around.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. For me, it has to be. Look, you know how old my laptop I have right now, my MacBook Pro, is from 2016.
Oh,
Yeah.
20, I'll see your 2016 and raise you 2011.
What?
Yeah,
That shouldn't
surprise!
even be
It's sitting over there.
functional.
Like when I finally put it down, I think it just kind of looked at me like, oh, now I'm not good enough for you anymore. A
Hmm.
couple of updates here and there ran. Yeah, it's just done. I
Hmm.
couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. The other thing, and I'm not trying to sell anyone an Apple. I see LV Louis Cipher is complaining. What did he say? I've hated Apple products since the Apple days. That's how long I've been dealing with computers. Yeah. Yeah, I've been dealing with computers since the 80s, so, I'm talking early 80s, so
But Apple feels like
that's
a
how far back
damn
I go.
cult, man. I was in the mall the other day, and I wasn't going there for Apple, but Apple's got like this two. It's literally a two-story store inside of the mall.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a 17.3 inch screen.
Okay. Nice,
And I like
nice.
the keyboard. You can program it to do different stuff. It lights
Mm-hmm.
up differently and all that jazz.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Um, and it was a waiting line to go in there. I'm like, I'm not taking a number.
Oh.
No, I want to be. I'm just gonna go somewhere and buy my damn thing, and I'm
There's
gonna
no
go.
Apple stores near me. There's no Apple store. Well,
Uh,
actually, I might be wrong. I think Lola says there's an Apple store in the University of Florida. I've never seen it. I guess there's a little kiosk or something up in there. But for me to go to an Apple store, we have to go to Orlando or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if there's probably one in Jacksonville or something. But I think Apple's actually retained their value. So I bet you if I wanted to sell my MacBook from 2016, I could still get money
oh
from
yeah,
it.
I would not. I will not argue with you on that. I think they definitely retain their value back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
very nice, man. Congratulations on this setup. Did the first, with the time we have left here in this segment, did the first episodes of Stogies and Straps start airing yet? What's the deal with that?
No, the clips are there. So look, people, go over Stogies and Straps on YouTube. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
here, if we got a minute, I'll even show a little snippet
Send
clip.
me, send me the. Is there a link to it? Because wait, we
You
got.
just want me to send it to you?
Send me a link and I'll throw it up here from my phone so people can
Okay,
see.
cool. I'll do that
So
right
this is
now.
going to be airing on YouTube, right? That's what you're saying, or where?
Correct.
How's
No,
this
it's going
going
to be YouTube is going to be it's going to be on all streaming services. One other thing that you hooked me to was the Podbean thing, so we'll get
to?
that going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have it on all the services eventually. But right now, it's going to be on YouTube. And when I say eventually, I'm talking about maybe 60 days. But um,
Okay.
it'll be up immediately. Still using straps. Let me go get this for you.
And so so your guests have to actually be there in Georgia, right, in order to be on the show.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, we are doing all in studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the easiest thing, obviously, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still. I mean, man, we knocked out. I've got what 5 recorded, another 6 lined up.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we're getting them going. I think it'll be. Here's the link coming over to you right now. I
Okay.
think we'll be fine. I'm actually going to Miami in March, and we're going to do 4 or 5 episodes down there in Miami. So
Um, is that
I know Miami's a bit
is
of a drive for you.
March when Maj is having his thing?
No, that's in September.
September. Okay. Okay. So you just be in Miami. So here's let's see. I can actually, you know what? Actually,
So when people
let me
watch it,
go
what I
full
want them to
screen.
pay attention to is like the overall tone and feel
It's
of it,
nice
right?
filmmaking. I like yeah. It feels the color and everything feels like it's in a cigar bar,
Mhm.
you know. So that's cool.
And so this is me actually having a discussion about a lot of men's thought about abortion. So when I
Mhm.
told people like at Stogies and Straps is where you're going to hear me really get into the conversation. The
Mhm.
young lady I'm talking to is a clinical therapist from New York. So she
Okay.
actually came down, shared her thoughts about, culture, society from a professional standpoint.
Mhm.
But since she's in New York, we also took her out to the gun range, let her shoot a gun for the first time, exposed her to gun culture, where she can take that back and have a conversation with a bunch of New York professionals about firearms too, and maybe some of the myths they can break about them.
Oh, cool. Cool.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's the tone. So I wanted people to understand, like
Let me
Stogies and
see what.
Straps, man, is it's grown, it's mature. We're not going to be yelling and over talking each other. We're going to have very tough conversations,
This is
but
what the
we're going to
YouTube
do it.
channel looks like, people. So you need to go there.
Yep. It's on. Yeah,
Let
go
me
to
see. Let me
YouTube,
and
sign
then
up
hit
for it,
that
and you can
subscribe.
also.
There you go.
It's also on Instagram too. So just Stogies and Straps.
Mhm.
On Instagram, you just have to put the word "and" instead of the symbol. But
Yeah, I
I
see
mean,
you got
Stogies
this
and
thing. What
Straps.
is a girl gun?
Yeah, so this is me. So I played with the color on this one.
Walther Arms has been making concealed carry handguns for over 90 years, starting with the PPK. Today, Walther is based in the good old US of A and still builds quality firearms like the PPQ and PDP for personal defense and competition. So when you're in the market, please consider Walther Arms. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Walther Arms. All right, my bad there.
That's
I
really
didn't
cool, by
do
the way.
I didn't do the 1 minute warning. I'm supposed to. So if you hear this, we got a minute
The
left.
woman in the warning.
But you can see the
Yeah.
time. If you look down there, you can see the countdown
Hmm.
going.
Yep, I
So,
see it.
but yeah, that was my bad. So yeah, let me see if I could throw this back up here for people to look at. You
So
what were you
this
saying about
one,
this?
so this one is me having. So I told we're going to have diverse conversations. So
Mm-hmm.
Kayla is she just left law enforcement. So
Mm-hmm.
she's a former law enforcement officer. She's also a firearms trainer. And so this is me asking her and us having a conversation of what's a girl gun. So we're going to be
Mm-hmm.
talking about guns, and that was just one. We talked about dating. We talked about a lot in that segment, but
Okay,
that was
cool.
her giving her response to what a girl gun is. So
Mm-hmm.
we are, we're opening up the dialogue, opening up the conversation, still keeping it freedom based. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I felt like, and then I'll shut up after this. One thing I felt like we've done kind of a poor job as a collective, really in the gun community, is making sure that other parts of culture know that we are just like them. We
Mm-hmm.
still want to have the same conversations, right? Matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, we're just trying to defend the freedom to have those conversations.
Right.
So I wanted to bring a new, mature, but fun and vibrant flow to it, man, and do something different, and infuse the love of cigars and mature adult conversation and have a good time.
Absolutely, man. And I'm looking forward to actually being on this sometime. So I need to make plans to come
Hmm.
down there. The good thing is, I could
Yep.
probably make plans, show up on your podcast. Maybe I'll finagle my way into like the IV 88, podcast. We'll
You're
get
right. Do
multiple,
them all at one time. Might as
record
well.
multiple things. I don't know who else is doing stuff in Atlanta, but whatever. Well, we'll make it happen
Devin's
when
got
we're
a
down there.
podcast he's starting to do live now, so you can hop on his. So that'll be three of them.
Devin has one. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
What?
We helped get him set up to change over his stuff, and I took the
Okay.
advice I was given, and I started advising him on the back end. So yeah.
So this Devon's thing is different from Trenchwork Chronicles, or this is Trenchwork
No, it's
Chronicles?
still Trenchwork
Okay,
Chronicles, but he's adding a live edition to his now,
okay,
so he'll be doing YouTube live,
hmm
and he's also doing some of his special guests pre-filmed,
okay,
to kind of bring a different flair to the conversation. So
hmm
yeah, I mean you'll be able to
yeah,
knock at least those three out while you're up here.
yeah. By the way, shout out to Boss Hog. He says, "Come on, Hank, no 1 minute warning." Okay, that 1 minute warning thing is not automated. I don't even know how to do that in here. I've got to figure out how to, because everything else is automated. So this stuff is like once I press play, it's going. So we just need to look at it. There's certain parts I haven't fully programmed yet. So listen, we're in the news section, Katie. We can honestly
Okay.
talk about whatever you want to, man. I enjoy our conversations. We don't have typically here we don't have any kind of plan, but any news stuff going on, like something in the news that's got your ire up or that you're paying attention to, or
Yeah, a couple of things.
okay.
I'll start off with the one that's more of a fireball. So, um, I think when we see I put up on Instagram the other day, the CEO of Pfizer is basically, well, not basically, he's saying that the shots are ineffective or
Mhm.
not as effective as they should be,
Mhm.
including the boosters,
Mhm.
and they are in the works to release another vaccine that will also kill the Omicron variant. Although there was a new variant and other variants, I think two, that they said are now emerging in Europe and other parts of the world that eventually will get here too. And
Mhm.
I think now, even when that came out, I think now Americans are starting to realize
Mhm.
that you're being lied to, man. That
Mhm.
like they're playing games with you. And the way that I wanted to kind of tell everybody and make them understand all this back and forth they're doing right now with what we should be doing with our health and what we should not be doing. This is what
Mhm.
normally happens during the trial period when they're actually trying to get approval to release the stuff,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
They're playing with us live, and so now we're having to go through all the frustrations
We're
as a
the
world.
experiment. Yeah. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah. So, man, I it's kind of obvious, right? This is the funny thing about that. A lot of people realize that. I've always told people if everyone's in a different situation. So I'm not trying to talk anyone down from getting the vaccine or not getting it. That doesn't really matter to me. I didn't do it for a long time actually, and the reason why I didn't do that because from the start, I'm pretty sure that I had I had corona, before it was even a big thing here, right? But none of that doesn't last forever. So at some point I got that. I think it's a thing that everyone needs to think to themselves like, hey, what do I want to do here? How does this do I want to take this chance and do this? But the idea that we're forcing everyone, you've got no choice, you have to do this. The funny thing is, KD, I think the Supreme Court ruled on this today,
Did they actually
right?
rule today? I knew it
Yeah.
was coming down. I didn't.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me see if I could pull this up. Um, Let me see if I could pull it up here on my phone, and then share it with you guys. So I'll throw it up here between Katie and myself. Actually, you know what? Let's just put it up. What the hell just happened? Why did it go? Oh, here we go. Okay, so breaking: Supreme Court blocks Biden's OSHA vax mandate for private business in a 6-3 vote. And
Yeah.
it says the Supreme Court on Thursday blocked Joe Biden's OSHA vaccine mandate for business with 100 plus employees. However, the conservative majority allowed the healthcare worker rule to remain. Justices Robert and Kavanaugh sided with the lefties. Although Congress has indisputably given OSHA the power to regulate occupational dangers, it has not given that agency the power to regulate public health more broadly, the court wrote in an unsigned opinion. Requiring the vaccination of 84 million Americans selected simply because they work for employers with more than 100 employees certainly falls in the latter category, the court wrote. So we can go further and dig into that if folks want, but why did it even take this long for them to figure this out? Why did it take so long to get here?
Man, I believe one thing is it truly is, and I know our community gets yelled at a lot about using the word control,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, when it's true, it's just true.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really argue about it. It's amazing that people don't even have a problem with it. I listened to the lawyers argue for
Mm-hmm.
OSHA, and one of the things that she let come out of her mouth, while OSHA should be allowed to create the mandate
Mm-hmm.
for employers with 100 plus employees, is because they do the same thing with blood pathogens. So she started using an example like there are certain standards for a janitor clean up blood, or if there's a construction worker injured at a work site and they're bleeding. So we've already set the tone that we should be able to deal with health and blood and things like that when it comes to the workplace. So I'm glad that the judges didn't fall for that. I mean, I hate that they went against the healthcare workers. That still sucks. It's still a fight.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we saved some people because that's just stupid. So, oh, because you have a way to clean up blood, then we should all of a sudden have this mandate. And I don't know when was the last time I haven't I don't know the last time I even read OSHA.
Mm-hmm.
When I was back at the PD, we had all these OSHA things because we had all these detainees. Nobody read that stuff.
Right.
Nobody pay attention to OSHA,
Yeah.
right? This is just you simply saying, "Oh, we want to control you," and they want. I believe personally,
Mm-hmm.
Biden wanted a way to penalize businesses that weren't doing it themselves. So he's
Mm-hmm.
like, "I'm going to make you do it, and you're going to abide by it. And if it costs you employees, it costs you employees. Who cares?"
Yeah. And I think for some, I think that's right. But for some businesses, they wanted to use the administration as cover to force things on people. 42
Mhm.
Chill says, read what Thomas wrote. He called it BS. I don't have that exactly in front of me, but if you have it and you send us, okay, he put up a link here. Hold on a second. Joe Rogan. Oh, there's something from Joe Rogan there. Yeah, I think he's talking about that Dr. Robert Malone. That's like a whole
Yeah,
other.
Robert Malone. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
couple of them in there.
that's a whole other thing. It's just weird, man, that this is the kind of stuff that we need to decide right away. We're kind of in a late situation here, and the end result is kind of obvious. If so many people in America have been vaccinated, whether they made that choice, okay, or they were forced into that choice, and still, I think Fauci the other day said every American is going to get Omicron. Now you called it Omarion Cron or
No, I didn't say
Omaricon?
Omri Cron. I started to call it a Marion. It's funny, by the way.
Um,
they're all
it
they're
cracked
all
me.
Decepticons. That's what they all are. They all
Yes,
sound
I
like
would.
damn Decepticons.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Fauci says everyone's going to get it. Well, so what are we doing? What are we doing? What's
Why
all
does it
this
matter?
stuff for? Yeah, what's all the mask stuff for? What's all the vaccination stuff for? If it's ineffective, why are you making people get it? Right? So
Right.
this is a weird thing, man.
They're
About
all weird. They're all
yeah,
stupid, and it makes no sense.
yeah.
And the other thing was I put up. This is probably a couple weeks old now.
Mhm.
There was a shooting in California
Mhm.
where in a Burlington coat store. Did you hear about that?
I think that sounds familiar, but you're gonna have to refresh me
So
on
there
it.
was a man that was running around Burlington Coat Factory
Mhm.
in a mall, and he was beating people with a bike lock. Okay,
Wow,
he
that's
was running
pretty
around
vicious.
randomly,
Yeah.
yeah, attacking people with a bike lock. So
Mhm.
911 gets a call. Uh, by the time it gets, the people calling in are like, the guy's got a gun. Everything to people is a damn gun, right? So
Mhm.
they call in saying the guy has a gun, and they're saying he's hurting people, this and that. So the officers respond, and a couple of them break out their long guns. Now
Mhm.
I don't know, they're probably like between 6 and 10 officers that responded. Well, one particular officer pushed his way to the front of the rest. He wanted to be
Mhm.
point, right? So
Mhm.
you can see him like from his
Mhm.
body cam, like moving people out the way. Hey, I got it, I got it. And
Mhm.
he gets point, and they encountered a guy. Now, if you've been in like Burlington Coat Factory, TJ Maxx, you kind of know how long those aisles are, right?
Mhm.
So he's at one end of the aisle. One of the victims who is bleeding is backpedaling, like pushing backwards on the floor, going toward the officer, and she's probably 6 feet away from the cop, so she's pretty close. The guy is at the far other end of the
Mhm.
aisle, and the cop's got his long gun out, and the guy once again has a bike lock, right?
Mhm.
And from what I can see so far, unless something new comes out, there is nobody in the immediate area of the bad guy at this point because the latest victim is
Back it
basically
away.
at the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. And
So
she's
he
on the ground,
raises his
right?
rifle
Mhm.
and he fires 3 shots, right? And he drops the guy. Now, do I feel sorry for a man running around busting people's heads open with a lock? No, I don't. All right.
Mhm.
However, there's still a level of responsibility. Well, one of those rounds, some people got scared and they went into the dressing rooms, right? And
Mhm.
so in one particular
Oh
dressing room,
yeah.
there was a mom and a daughter, a 14, 15-year-old girl,
Right.
and they were hugging, and a round came through the door, struck the girl, and killed her because he missed,
Mhm.
right? You missed, I don't know, what is that, 15 feet, 20
Mhm.
feet
Mhm.
with a rifle, because he boom, 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 like 3 rounds back to back, and one of those rounds missed target, went into that door and killed that little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And what amazed me about that, I wouldn't, there's one thing the Monday night quarterback. There's another thing when it's just simple logic, and there are professional standards that we have to hold people to, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be running around with a firearm, and there's a standard you should be held to.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things that you should have learned the first time you picked up a gun is consider your target and what is beyond. And that
Right.
was a straight line of sight where that round went into that dressing room. So
Mm-hmm.
you mean to tell me you didn't see dressing rooms? You didn't take a moment. The guy had a bike lock. He didn't have a gun. You didn't take a moment to assess that situation and say, hey, maybe this isn't the best angle if I need to engage him with lethal force, because there are doors back there that are closed. I don't know who's in the room and
Mm-hmm.
who's not. So I saw a lot of people arguing about that when I put that up, and it wasn't about bashing a cop. It was about bashing recklessness. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
have to be more responsible when you're discharging a firearm, and then when you are police officer, federal agent, military, whatever, the professional standard for you
Mm-hmm.
now exists, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
And we
think
have to
that
hold you to professional standard.
absolutely. I mean, I think they have, regardless of the adrenaline pumping and all that kind of stuff, you have to assess the situation that you're in. And in a situation in a mall, where there's people. Obviously, what you're running into here is that you're dealing with people, lots of people, and you don't know where they are, right? It's not like
Right.
you're, even in a home, there's of course people, and you don't know where people are in those rooms, but there's not as many people. Your probability that there's going to be people who could get struck by any round that you fire goes up in a mall. That's one. But two, what I think about when you're saying that, and I've never been in any of these kinds of situations, but I have a friend of mine that is a retired SWAT team leader, and he told me that, these firearms that you're going in with, a lot of people do not have them zeroed properly. And it always
Oh,
becomes a thing if we have this conversation. If you have a long gun SBR or whatever, you have to consider what distance are you fighting with this thing. So it
mhm.
was it actually zeroed? If it was zeroed for a close encounter, right? 10 yards, 15 yards, whatever you consider a close encounter, or the outside of what a close encounter is, it's more likely to be dead on. And that's what he said to me. He was like, if we go into as a SWAT team or response unit, you're more than likely going to a very close situation. If it's further away, there's specific snipers for that, right?
Right.
So in a
Right.
close situation, you want to be super accurate. Otherwise, you don't want to fire. So,
And I believe this guy had an ACOG mounted on top of a carry handle.
hmm
And I don't know if it was 4 times or one power, but I believe he had, if I'm remembering correctly, and I could be wrong, I
hmm
believe he had an ACOG mounted on top of a carry handle with a 16-inch gun shooting at 20 feet.
yeah.
And so and look, I've been in buildings where we had to college campuses, 26,000 people running around them,
hmm
where we had to pull guns and do things, right?
hmm
I've had guns pulled on people in public. I get it that there is adrenaline pumping and adrenaline rushing and those things, but your level of accountability as a citizen,
hmm
your level of accountability is high. And when you add in the professional standards, those are things you have to take into account.
hmm
I saw a lot of people saying, well, it's the bad guy's fault because he started the situation. Okay, we know in a court of law, a bad guy could, eat the charge. You started, somebody dies in the process. You can be charged in death. I get it,
hmm
right? We get it. Nobody would have been there if the guy wouldn't have been crazy, hitting people upside the head with a bike lock. I totally get it. However, when you respond to a situation, you have to respond adequately. If somebody was attacking you with a baseball bat, and you're facing your front door, and this guy comes out of nowhere between you and your front door, and you get your gun out, right? And
hmm
you see that your kids are probably hearing your car pull up and running around the front door waiting on dad to come in. You need to make sure that if I discharge this gun, I am considering,
hmm
what's going to happen in the background, right?
hmm
And those are the standards you have as a citizen. So we can't blame the bad person for our recklessness, right? We still have to uphold those standards. And so it was
Well,
just what
and the
was,
cops are professionals. We're calling
yeah,
either they are or they aren't. I mean, it's arguable, right? Like,
right.
what was the level of training or whatever here, or even curation of their firearms? But they're professionals, and when you lose an innocent bystander, that kind of negates blaming whoever started the situation. The fact in life is we're always going to have someone start a situation. If there's professionals that their job is to handle that, and an innocent bystander goes, then I think that for sure there's going to be a high level of blame on those guys, and it's too bad, man. You know, the handgun probably would have been a better thing to use in that situation, but who knows, like, what was the level of training, or even someone going through and looking at people's. I remember when that guy was telling me that, he actually came out here to where I live, and he was doing some training with my local sheriff's office. And it was funny, like, guys didn't even have their they didn't have their red dots zeroed, or they weren't even working, or they didn't, it's crazy to think what's going on out there. And then we're somehow calling this professional. So
Yeah, it's we have to up the standards. Now, here's an
mhm,
opportunity too.
mhm,
Um, hey, citizens, make sure your stuff's tight.
mhm,
Get it together.
yeah,
Stop slapping all these gizmos and gadgets on the guns, and this is why we say train.
yeah,
And another reason I don't give that particular officer any grace in that situation is because you fought to get to point.
mhm,
You
mhm,
fought for you literally moved five other guys. Oh, I
mhm,
heard it that time.
yeah,
You
no, because
literally
I
moved
did it.
five other guys out of the way to get to that position, right? And they're going to
Mhm,
argue that in civil court, whether that showed his intent just to be,
yeah,
reckless or whatever. I'm not arguing that, but you fought for that position, which means you accept the responsibility that comes with that position,
yeah,
right? So
but
we would hope that
police officers
your
are
level of training is adequate.
indemnified, and the average they're citizens too, in my opinion. But the average citizen is not indemnified to what happens when you do stuff. So if you have that same kind of mentality and you don't know what's going to happen when you do things, then hey, just you're spraying and praying, which I get it. you know,
Ooh, we
yeah,
gotta be
you
careful.
just go into it knowing what's going to happen, because after it happens, everything's definite of what's coming from there. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about this sponsor here right now. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Barnum Ammo. Barnaul has a wide range of reliable, quality steel case ammo for small game, large game, target shooting, and self-defense. They've got the classics like 7.62 and 5.45, as well as 9mm all the way up to 308. Subsonic as well. So when you're in the market, please consider Barnum Ammo. All right. Boom! We are in the Gorn section right now, but let's take some time to wrap it up. To go back to what we were talking about, I think this is the quote from 42 Chill. It says, "These cases are not about the efficacy of or importance of COVID-19 vaccine. They are only about whether CMS has the statutory authority to force healthcare workers by coercing their employers to undergo a medical procedure they do not want and cannot." So, okay. He says, if Congress had wanted to grant CMS authority to impose nationwide vaccine mandate and consequently alter the state-federal balance, it would have done so clearly, wrote Thomas. It did not. You know, um, what's funny about this? From what I was reading earlier, Roberts, I think it was even in this article. These guys didn't really have our back the way that we thought they would, which this is kind of good news and bad news, that whole Supreme Court thing. Maybe there'll be some good news for us as gun owners, but we can't necessarily trust some of the justices on there to solely go with the Constitution. And when it comes to Roberts, I feel like they have something on that dude.
Man, I don't trust nobody that can't be fired.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it. You can do what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's go to some Gorn here. Um,
All right.
I'm gonna let you kick this off, man, because I know I got some things here, but
All right.
the
Well,
people
I'll
want to
bring
see
up.
what Kevin Dixie's is coming with. How Kevin
Um.
Dixie brings the thunder.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me start off with this one because it coincidentally matches my hat. So you don't see these a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I know it looks like your standard AR-15 platform, but this is actually a 300 hammer by Wilson Combat.
Oh wow.
So This is a 300 hammer that is a Shaw barrel inside of this
Oh,
Joker.
very nice. Very
Only the
nice.
barrel, but you can
Yeah.
see it here,
Man,
all
this
done
is
up. This is
all,
done
even
by
the bipod. For everyone listening on audio, this is such a beautiful gun. It's
so
nicely
even yes,
painted, but the optics, the bipod, the
yep,
optic mount is coordinated to the stock
yep.
and the grip. It's,
This
that's
is
so awesome.
yeah, this is
Oh
and the
Lord.
magazine even goes with it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh
So
yeah,
I
the
make sure I load the
magazine.
right mags up.
How
So yeah, the
many?
300 hammer. So it's
Mhm,
basically a 300 blackout on steroids. Is what it's
mhm,
supposed to be. So I haven't done any true ballistic testing with it yet. I have shot this gun, and it does kind of match my head. You see that? It's kind of cool.
mhm. No, that's a beautiful gun, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So this is one of my babies. That's a Lucid L5 sitting on top
Even
of it.
wait, show the muzzle device. Even the muzzle device is color coded
Yep.
to the stock and the grip and the
Yes.
optic mount. I
You
mean,
got to coordinate,
coordinate.
right?
Yeah,
See,
very nicely.
you gotta coordinate
Very nicely done.
all the coordination. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's my
Armament
baby.
Access says Burl. 42 Chilled says Burl.
Barrel. Yeah, you
Dick.
gotta have a good barrel in there.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? That's just a Glock 42. Oh, this guy. I don't know. I got some FDE going on. I don't break this guy out a lot, but he's about to start getting shot a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
you've seen these before. FNX 45
Oh,
TAC.
okay. Yes.
And this one is one I haven't even shot yet. This is the M17.
This still has the
So
flag up in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how. I mean, I've had it for a minute, but I just haven't
Mm-hmm.
shot it.
Mm-hmm.
So M17. The M17 I did shoot. I liked it, which is why I bought this one. And let's see what else we got back here.
So those are like two FN guns right there, right?
No, that's Sig Sauer
Oh, Sig.
M17,
Okay.
FNX 45. I've shown this one before. Um, this is just my night fighter setup. So it's a truth frame with a VP9 long slide on it. Hollowson 509
Mm-hmm.
on top of this guy. Trying to get in the frame here. There you go. Hollowson 509 on top of this guy. And I saw a lot of people ask me, hey, what the heck is this thing, right? It looks like a little sticker on my magazine. I don't know if you can
Mm-hmm.
see that.
And the bottom.
So
Mm-hmm.
what that is on my mags for nighttime fighting, I have infrared reflectors. So I can see them in night vision. It reflects.
Oh.
So when I have on night vision, I can see my mags.
So if you drop it out or whatever.
Right. So if you're doing reload drills or stuff like that, and
Oh, I
you're looking
see.
down trying to find your
Right.
magazine. A lot of guys use white light. I just look down and I'll see it reflecting like a little star, and I'll pick it up.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that's
LB
what that
Louis
is.
Cipher says 300 hammer, if I recall correctly, was designed for hog hunting. Is that what's that?
Yes, they really Wilson Combat really pushed it for hog hunting. Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's
Is
exactly what I'm going to use it for.
is that what? Okay. Have you had a chance to go hog hunting yet, or this is
Not.
okay?
I went out once, didn't see anything. I didn't take that out with me, but going to be going out again this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to go out for about 3 or 4 days. I'm gonna lay some hogs on their backs
Mm-hmm.
this year because it's going to be part of my thing. And then this is this is my little hot baby. This is my little Glock 42. I always have this around me close somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that say I hate Glocks, so that's a Glock 42. That joke is loaded, so I'm not gonna play with it. But
Mm-hmm.
then look, I have sitting behind me the Glock 17. Look
Okay.
at
There you go. Yeah. Right now, Armin and Axis says KD has sexy Gorn. Yeah. And I don't know why this is.
that.
I wonder
One
if my.
more,
I
one
wonder
more.
if my internet here is slow because I see KD breaking up. So it's probably
Yeah,
me.
my camera. I saw my camera one looking at sexy.
Yeah. It's probably me. Uh.
Oh, it's you. It's definitely you.
Yeah. Your internet, I'm assuming, is probably flying. I'm the one on cellular right now. So okay. So go ahead.
Good. And
Yeah.
so to match this guy, oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, to match
Mhm.
that guy,
Mhm.
we have this guy, which I've shown once or twice, but I don't think I've ever had it on here. So let me go to this side. All right. So this is my Tactical Life AR-15. That is a Maul sitting
Mhm.
at the end of that with a PLHV2 by Mod Light.
Mhm.
So if you're in the night vision, you know what the Maul is. If you don't, it's an Illuminator. and it's a really really nice illuminator.
Did you
Uh,
when you were on with Babyface? Did you show this to Babyface when you guys were all
I think
geeking
I
out?
might have. I might have. There it
Okay,
is. So
yeah.
there's the mall. Um, Good white light, and then the gun itself.
What is your muzzle device on there? Is that for a suppressor or what is
Yeah.
that
So
for?
right now, this is I forget the model number of it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I believe this one is from that might actually be from Strike Industries.
Mm.
But this one is I got to remember the model number of it. But this gun is tuned for suppressed shooting, so that's why I have that particular device on it because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to tune it until while I was waiting on the can,
Mm-hmm.
so I can have it somewhat tuned in right. So this
Mm-hmm.
particular gun has a 14 and a half inch SOCOM barrel in it. So the gas port's a little tighter,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I had to make sure I could tune it in right. So even in here, after we have the different barrel, we have the tighter gas port. Um, I have a nickel boron bolt to make sure it runs a H3 buffer. So we just had to tune it a certain way to make sure it still ran. But
Mm-hmm.
no, it's all good to go. I wish I could remember the name of that.
So from what I'm seeing here of your setup, you have wait, hey, hold on, is this a pistol?
Technically, it's a pistol.
Yeah, because I'm seeing the stock now, and what is that stock in the back?
That's the SB8. I
Oh,
think that's the
okay.
three. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's in it.
So, and then I see behind the Eotech, it looks like the Eotech on there. You've
Yep,
got a magnifier,
correct.
right?
So
Um.
that's the G33 magnifier,
Mhm.
the Eotech XPS3, their newest one.
Mhm.
So the XPS3, the G33 magnifier, ambidextrous charging handle.
Mhm. Yeah, very nice. And you've got a sling. What's your sling? What sling do you use?
That's a Vikings tactical.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's a
and I
nice
have
sling.
the Century strap from,
That
and I got to
sling
tell you
looks
this.
color coordinated to this thing too, or kinda, sort of. Let me
Yeah,
see.
it
Yeah, it's
kind of
kind of
is.
close. Yeah.
I couldn't get it to perfectly match, but
Right.
I like it
Mhm.
anyway, so I bought it. So yeah.
Mhm.
There's the thing. It's not perfect. I couldn't find one that was perfect, but it worked. I like Viking Sling, so that's why I
Mhm.
still bought it. Yeah, this is the setup. Got the hot button on it. I'm not gonna point that at the camera, but
Mhm.
yeah, the hot. You
Mhm.
can probably see the light bouncing there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Hot button. We do have a front sight on this Joker. Yeah, so
That's a nice setup.
this is my baby. This is my baby.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, I think those are all the I say that. And then because I've been looking at it and I'm gonna do something with it. I sit guns by me for inspiration. I'll sit them there for like days and just look at them and see what hits.
Mhm.
But I like this little Bursa, man. This is just the Bursa
Ah.
Thunder 380. But I
Mhm.
really like this little gun, and I don't think they get enough love and attention, to be honest
Okay, the
with
Bursa.
you.
Okay. Night
Um,
Train says I see the Neo Mag sling strap.
yeah, so that's the Century Neo Mag. Their Century
Mhm.
strap. Yeah,
Okay. Mhm.
so that's their Century strap right there. So it's just if you haven't seen a Century strap, it's got a big magnet. I say big, that's relative, but it's got a magnet
Mhm.
right there in the end, and you can probably see the outline of it.
Right.
And then there's the other part of the magnet is here at the bottom, right
Mhm.
here. You can probably see the outline of it.
Yeah.
And once you put your sling in it, well, you can see it just goes. You put your sling in it, and it just magnetizes. So if you're somewhere and you need your sling to be tight, transport or you. So when I go on road trips, my rifle is sitting next to me in my car.
Mhm.
So I like to have this sling nice and tough to make it easier and it doesn't get snagged on stuff.
Mhm.
So if I need to fight my way out of the vehicle, then the sling is nice and compact. And when I get out the vehicle, I can expand the sling, put it on, and get to doing whatever I got to do, whatever the job calls for. But I like to have it nice and compact inside the vehicle, and even in just simple transport, put it inside your rifle case. So
Very
yeah,
nice. I
yeah.
almost don't even want to show my Gorn now. LV. KD every single time.
Oh, I
KD
got
is
one
so
more.
coordinated, man. He sits there and goes, I'm not gonna get this thing because it don't really match.
I
It's
think I
not up
got
to the
one
level.
more.
Oh boy.
So the last one I got, then I'm gonna shut up. But I'm so excited to be able to show guns on here again.
Yeah.
Um,
Same here, man. It's fun.
yeah, this little guy.
Oh, what?
And so obviously he's loaded because this is part of my go bag. So let me clean him
Mm-hmm.
real quick.
Mm-hmm. So folder and SBR, I'm assuming.
So round this out.
Mm-hmm.
Put that over here. All right. So this little guy is the Tactical Life Takedown AR-15.
Okay, so this is
Okay.
a pistol.
Yeah, so this is a pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, you look closer there. So this little guy is what I roll out with when I'm just, I put it in the commuter 2.0 bag from a Vertex, and I
Mm-hmm.
just stroll around with it on my back,
So
or
that
on the
that
road.
that brace is also an SB brace or different?
No, this is a SIG brace, and I'll be honest with
Okay.
you, I don't like the brace. I'm gonna take it off,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a SIG brace. There is
Okay.
a new Magpool has a new smaller micro brace. They built it for an option for PDW people. I think it's coming
Mm-hmm.
out of SHOT Show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually gonna see how that thing holds up, and I think I'm gonna put that micro brace on here.
Yeah.
But for so I think I'm gonna go with that. But the cool thing about these is if you take this guy, take some pressure off of here, pull this tab down,
You can remove that. Yeah.
you remove it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I really like this.
Who
They let you
makes
let the
that removal thing? I know there's a couple of different companies that do that. Who makes
well, I know Tactical Life does this one.
that? Okay. Mm-hmm.
So Tactical Life out of they're right down there in Florida too,
Okay, I
Davie,
know.
Florida.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is how small and compact this thing stores.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like it for that reason. And you just whip it back in,
Mm-hmm.
get your tube lined up, put it in, right? Charge
Mm-hmm.
around, you're back in action.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, and it's not
Yeah.
super. It's not as super heavy as I don't know how heavy the folding. What folder do you have there for the stock?
Law tactical.
Law Tactical. Those tend to be a little bit heavy. I don't know if there's any super lightweight ones out there right now, but that's probably heavier than that mechanism to remove the barrel is. You know.
Yeah, the law folder, definitely does add some weight to the back.
Yeah.
All right. So
So.
now
Hmm.
I'm going to put this up, but I got to make it hot again because, like I said, it's part of my
Yeah.
bag.
So we got a couple of comments here. LV Louis Cipher says Bursa 380 are nice. My former domestic partner love the one I gave her. So there you go. He says Bursa makes some good economical pistols. They work. And Armament and Axis
Oh,
says Bursa
gave
almost a
her,
Makarov. Yeah, he gave her. Yeah.
her. Okay.
Oh. Oh, you're making comments on LV Louis Cipher now?
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
Are you going to SHOT Show? Because he might catch you out there. He might run.
Yeah, I'll be there, man. I mean, I was indifferent, but I got too many things I got to do out
Yeah,
there, so I'll be
he might roll up on you just like, you want me to roll up on you right now? Uh, no. So let me see. What was the? Oh, you know what I was gonna say? You were talking about that Eotech. I heard this is like a rumor because
there.
when I was looking for it on the firearm blog, I didn't see the article. I don't know whether they took it down or not, but I heard Eotech came out with a new optic.
Oh, really?
Yes. Let's see. Some kind of new Eotech design leaked. Let me see. I think I might actually be able to show you a design thing up here. I don't, I mean, I don't know
So,
what the
so the buttons are
schematics.
on the so the buttons are on the side now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is
Uh,
some leaked
Go
stuff
back.
that I had. You
Go
want me to
back.
go back?
Go back. Yeah, go
Okay.
back.
Wait. Hold on. You want me to go full? There you go. That's bigger.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, go back a little bit to
Go.
another slide. I mean, to another
Wait.
picture. That one right there.
Right.
So that they put all the buttons on the side because right now the buttons are in the rear.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they move them to the side.
Yeah. And then this is like a 3/4 view.
Huh.
So yeah. That's just a leak that I got, and I was looking for all of that on the firearms blog, and then I didn't see it. Let me see if I can go. Let me see if I can pull up the firearms. No. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the firearm blog. Let me share that with everyone. See if we can actually find that, because I don't see that on there. But I heard about it. So let's see if we see Eotech, Crimson Trace. I don't know if you're keeping up with all the stuff coming out. Obviously we're approaching, we're approaching SHOT Show. Let's see. No, I don't see the Eotech thing here.
Mm-mm.
So I'm not sure, what's going on with that. They might have taken it down. Maybe that wasn't supposed to be out yet. I did see this commercially available. Someone was asking about it in the chat. Commercially available, the Sig Sauer NGSW MCX Spear. So it sounds like they've got like some new rounds that they put out. What is this? Easily converted to both 7.62 NATO and 6.5 Creedmoor. They looks like they came out with their own ammo, suppressors, a whole bunch of different stuff. I don't know if you've looked at this. Fury
Mm-mm.
ammunition is commercially available. So 277 Sig Fury. I mean, it looks sexy. I'm trying to see what the price is. Someone told me this is expensive. Let's go down here and see what we're talking about. Do you see price in this? Because I don't.
I didn't see it, but I'm gonna
Price,
just
price,
from
price,
looking
price,
at it,
price, price, price.
it's gonna push. I wouldn't be surprised that doesn't flirt between 25 and 3K. Easy.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I don't see the price here. Because someone was telling me it's like 8K or something like that. I was like, there's no
Oh
way.
damn.
No, no, I don't know. Don't take my word for that. Or maybe that's for this whole setup with the can and no, it can't be. Yeah, I don't really see price here. It's a good looking gun. And then the new round, I don't know, man. There's a bunch of new rounds coming out. Yeah, I don't know where I'm at with that new round, especially if I'm only buying it from one person. So I don't know. What's your thing on that?
Well, I am. I'll put that in the same category that I put the 300 hammer. The
Mhm,
reason why I felt good about the 300 hammer is the amount of it that
mhm,
they had. So you buy it
mhm,
directly from Wilson.
mhm,
But I mean, when I went on there, and this is right when we were having a bad ammo crunch,
mhm.
man, I was able to get. I mean, I was just paying like right shy of $1 a round for a unique round. So
Oh wow.
it was pretty cool. I was able to order a couple hundred rounds of it.
Mhm.
And they got plenty more. And they said that they have stock, so you can just order. So I'm like, all right, I'll try it out. I like having one offs. With Sig Sauer, the hammer had also been out for a couple of years before I went and made one. So
Mhm.
let's see if the Fury is still around in a couple of years, and if it is, might be
Yeah.
something worth checking
Yeah.
out. I wouldn't knock it.
Yeah. If it gets developed a little bit here. Um, Brian Quick says 7,999. So I'm not sure where that number's coming from, and I didn't see it scrolling through there real quick, but listen, that's awesome, man. If you got it, rock and roll like that. Um, I'm with you, Katie. It needs to take some time, to come out and develop itself. I like 300 Blackout. That's what I
Hey,
keep very close to me when
I
I'm
let
sleeping.
every I let everybody else get the Gen 1. I don't care what is Gen 1 of. I do the
Hmm.
same thing with like when I used to rock PlayStations. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh no, you can have the first batch.
Hmm.
I want everybody else to work out the bugs for me. And then
Yeah.
I'll come in. Yeah, I'm like that
Yes.
with everything.
Yes. Absolutely. All right. So listen, listen. I didn't even get a chance to show my Gorn yet. So we're gonna do this break here, and then we're gonna be right back, and I am gonna show you guys my guns. See what happens. With Arms List, you can shop the extensive list of local and nationwide firearms classified, now with more confidence because of their built-in firewall. For only $6.99 a month for personal use, or $30 a month for business vendors, so when you're in the market, please consider Arms List. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Arms List. All right, bada bing, bada boom. There you go. So, okay, Brian Quick says that's on SIG's website. So I'll have to pull. Let me see if I can pull that up and pull that up from off their website. So, anything that you've heard of from SHOT Show that you're like looking forward to seeing it that's already come out, or
Uh, to be honest with you, no. I
no?
mean,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't. I saw Magpool's got like a fury of little things coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I like Magpool, so I'll definitely go check it out. And I'm interested in looking at anything new. I just haven't really. Maybe my ear hasn't been to the ground like it should.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be
Oh,
checking them out, seeing what people got.
yeah. There we go. Here's the website from SIG. Right. So MCX Spear,
Hmm.
MSRP 7,999.
No mfing way.
What?
So what is it coming double? So that if you buy like that, that's a double stamp, right? Is that because I don't think that's a 16-inch gun.
I'm guessing they're sell.
So
Yeah, yeah. The suppressor's probably separate, so you're probably buying and getting the suppressor in it for all of that. I'm assuming that they're selling it with the suppressor, right? It has to be.
Yeah, for that price, you better. But that still isn't. I don't know, man. That's a
Yeah,
lot
it
of money.
must be because everything they're showing the suppressor. So I'm assuming that's the deal and why it's so expensive. So interesting.
I
Interesting.
mean, there'll be somebody out there to buy it. I mean,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. No joke. Okay, so listen. Um you can't buy the magazines for KD's guns for what this thing costs, but I'm going to show it off anyway. So this is my Keltec. This is my Keltec RDB right there. There you go. And you know what? Every time I pick this up, and like here, obviously I'm trying to get it, and I almost, like if you're, this is like I think this is a freaking 18-inch barrel in this thing. It's not even like a 16-inch, right? And
Right.
look at how short it is, man. Every time I pick this up, I'm like, what? And it's not an SBR. It's a bullpup. 5.56 magazine goes in back here. It's rearward downward ejecting, so there's the rounds aren't coming out anywhere here. The rounds are going back and then getting ejected from the back here. So right here is where all those rounds are getting ejected from. Yeah, every time I pick this up, I think, man, this is cool. So I
That is
forgot
a cool gun.
I forgot what optic I had on here, and I took it off. And I know there's different colors of these out there and all that kind of stuff. So I like these. I might get another one. I would like to get one. I would like to get the one with the wood furniture and stuff like that, but they never came out with it. Side charging. Katie, I think all ARs should be side charging. This is not an AR, obviously, but
Blasphemy.
huh?
Nothing. Blasphemy. Go ahead.
Why, man? That is
Who are you? You a Russian spy? What are
that
you?
is one that is one of the flaws of an AR, man. What the hell? Like you gotta go up under this thing, sometimes get under optics and all kinds of stuff to
Well,
grab your
that's why you
get some
need
kind
to
of.
have oversized ambidextrous charging handles in your
No,
gun.
there's a simple solution. Put the charging handle over here.
Mm. I like
So
side charging, but
yeah.
don't be trying to change. Don't be trying to change the game, man.
Oh no, they need
Right?
to change. They need to change it. It needs to be changed. But yeah, I like these. I might get another one of these or another couple of these or whatever. Yeah, I'm a fan of these. So that's one. And here, this is gonna be my Henry rifle. This one is not gonna easily. Let's see. Maybe if we go like this, check that out. That's the all-weather 4570 Henry all-weather stainless steel. What?
Mm.
Oh, I
That
love this
is
gun.
sweet. That
Yeah,
is nice.
this is like one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Henry rifle. Man, they just make beautiful guns. I mean, jeez, look at that thing.
That is beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and this is perfect for Florida, man. Doesn't rust. Um, yeah, I love this gun. So 4570, almost like a dinosaur killer kind of thing.
Hmm.
Right here. So there you go. That's what I got. That's what I'm showing off. I know. You know.
That's it.
If I
One day you're gonna have to introduce me to the people over at Henry, man.
yeah, they're good folks. They're not at SHOT Show. I think they go to if we're having an NRA show, they're at NRA, but they don't do SHOT Show. But they're good
Yeah,
folks. Yeah. One day I got to intro you to those guys.
yeah. I won't be at NRAM this year because NRAM
Hmm.
decided to drop their convention on the same week as Train and Learn. Weekend is Train and Learn, so I won't
Oh.
be there. I'll be in
Okay.
Missouri.
Hmm. Let's see. What is this? Eugene questioning. Someone says, "Oh, Stoner." What I can't. Agree with Father D on AR charging handle. uh, and LB Louis Cipher says Henry makes beautiful guns, but I hate reloading them. You have to reload them from the end of the mag tube by the business end of the muzzle. Yeah, some of them they're doing some side loading stuff now. Um, they are doing so. I wonder if there is a version for this yet. The side loading that would be really sweet. That's a good thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of that. So, it's been a while since because I haven't been to an NRA show myself either in a while, so I haven't had a chance to see up close the stuff that Henry's coming out with here for at least a couple of years with everything going on. We're in the audience section. If you guys have questions, feel free to hit us up with that. Katie, I see the camera coming out. You want to
Yeah, I'm just gonna get this ready in case people wanted to see what this
yeah,
gizmo
what
does.
tell us about this camera, man. Absolutely. We want to see it.
So the Sony Alpha A7 is what the camera is. I'm working on getting the whole contraption charged up now. There we go. Let me balance this thing off. So this is the DJI Ronin. You know, DJI makes all the most of
Mm-hmm.
the drones you see out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm calibrating now. You'll see it shake here
Yeah,
in a
they
minute.
do some good drones. They also have an amazing camera they just put out from DJI that's pretty close to a movie level camera.
Yes, have you seen that thing? You know what that thing cost?
I think it's like 8, 9 grand, maybe 10.
Man, it start. They go from 7 to 12,
Mm-hmm.
but is it sexy?
Yeah, DJI has done a lot of cool stuff. I
So
think
this
they're
this
better
little
than
doohickey thing
GoPro sometimes. Go ahead.
here,
Mm-hmm.
now that it's on. So it the cool thing about, I don't mind talking about it here. The cool thing about, one of the things when it comes to content creation, even though I got a more established team now, and I definitely have people that come out and help me out behind the scenes. Um, Sometimes you just got to go get stuff done, and you don't have anybody with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one cool thing about this contraption here is that it auto tracks. So I can lock on myself and I put this on a tripod and it'll move with me, which I
Right.
love.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Absolutely.
love that.
Yeah.
So I can still do a lot of different things. But one of the cool little things about this Joker is this. And I'm gonna get this thing hooked up here to show you guys this. I think it's pretty freaking awesome. Oh, hold on. I have to go sign on to
I'm
the
I'm waiting for someone to come out with the camera that just floats and follows you. They're getting kind of close. Like
it's
some of the
called a
drones.
drone, Hank.
Yeah, well, some of the drones out there are pretty good. But without making a lot of noise and all that. Something that could just follow you, and it's the perfect cameraman. You don't really have to tell it anything,
Mhm.
and it just knows this is my subject. And it just moves around. Because honestly, with two of those, you can just make some badass productions. And the drones that are out there are getting really, 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 really close to that. You know, the biggest thing we're probably facing is the
Yeah, I think
noise
I'm.
made from the drone. You know, but it's only a matter of time before they figure out how to make those drones a lot more quiet. And honestly, if you use the right microphones and stuff, you're good. What's up?
Can you see this thing? Can you see this
Uh,
thing? All
yes, I
right.
can.
So here's my cell phone, my other phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it here now. So even when it comes to people getting close to you doing
Mm-hmm.
things, so you can see the gimbal and the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I move my phone,
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's
I
following
can
your phone.
control. Well, I'm directing it from my phone.
Right, yeah. The
It's not
phone
even
is like
following the
pulling the
phone
puppet
itself.
strings. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. So if you're doing a shot, even if you have another person and you set that up on a tripod, let's say in front of you, but somewhere a
Mhm.
little bit off, and you want to show like the angle, the muzzle, and all that kind of stuff, you don't have to keep resetting up shots like we do, where you have to make sure everything's safe and set those shots up or whatever. You can just have someone with that moving it
Yep.
around, or you could do it yourself.
Yeah, and the cool thing is this it also gets rid of that whole, why is somebody in front of the camera, which people don't realize people aren't always in front of the camera, but I
Hmm.
mean in front of the gun.
Yeah,
But
we set the
um,
camera up and then we do what we need to do. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, do your thing. So this is it's pretty freaking handy. And if I had, nobody's up here with me now, but if I locked onto a subject and they start moving, you'll see the camera tracking them as well.
Hmm.
I can put this down and the camera will do all the work. So it's a pretty cool little gizmo, man. I really really enjoy this thing. It took forever. I bought 3 of these before we got it right.
Really? So,
Yeah.
do you have a special setup to connect that to your tripod, or it just
So
easily?
you know what? Actually, I'm looking into some new hydraulic fluid heads,
Okay.
because I have one now. Like the tripod that this camera is sitting on, it's one of my favorite tripods. It's metal. This tripod is awesome. It can stand high winds. It can hold, I think, up to like 60 pounds. Like this thing is stupid.
Hmm.
Um, but I want one that's a little bit lighter, maybe carbon fiber. So I'm going to look at that with some heads, and then you can get newer makes a lot of adapters that you can
Hmm.
just put on your tripod and put on your camera, so you can connect them all the time.
Yeah, just
So I'll look
quick.
at some newer
Yeah.
stuff and
Yeah,
get it
just
hooked up
quick
right.
attached to it. You just want to make sure you get a nice heavy tripod, nice heavy
Yeah,
duty one,
I
with
mean, I
some
can even
serious
take
weight.
a if I even let me see if I can get a picture of the one I'm using right now to hold this
Yeah.
thing, which I'm totally overdoing it by using this tripod for this camera, but
Yeah.
it's what I had accessible to me. Where's
Hmm.
this camera? We need to talk about people having less apps on their phone. This takes too long. Okay.
That's you.
Jesus.
That's you with all those apps on your phone. So let me ask the folks out there while you're doing that. Do you guys have some questions for Kevin Dixie? We'll hook Kevin up with some questions right now. Or you follow Kevin Dixie, some stuff that was going on in his Instagram. Let me see if I could pull up your
Uh,
Instagram right here.
yeah, there's always some bad stuff
See
on my
what
Instagram.
see what's been going on in your
People
Instagram.
always get mad at me over my Instagram. I will tell you, I had, yeah, I got people. My DM was kind of jumping live because of a post I put up a little while ago, a few days back. But
I'm so I'm showing. Wait, hold on. Where we go? Here we go. Here's your Instagram right now. By the way, I saw some stuff with your daughter on there. I thought that was cool. You
yeah,
know.
that video that we have coming out, yeah, that's just me really connecting with parents and letting them know, like,
Yeah.
these are the tips and tricks that I use and how I interact with my children. So hopefully it
Mhm.
helps you. We got the Walker video coming out. There's a snippet right below where you see Donovan. If you scroll down, right next to the Stogies and Straps one in a gray hoodie.
Mhm.
That's a project we did with Walkers. That's coming out. Him talking about what happened during his school shooting.
Okay.
So that's a really really good quality video that was done up on that. Um,
So in this gray hoodie, this is your son?
yep, that's Donovan. All
Okay.
6'3", 245 of them.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. When did he get that big?
man. Every day size pushing the size 18 shoe now.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
Wow. Okay. He had
monster.
a growth spurt then.
Yeah, he did, and I feel it in my pocket. And then I wake
Right.
up every morning. I just have to two piece them. Just let them know.
Mhm.
Okay,
Check it
don't get
out. There's
comfortable,
the
baby.
there's the tripod. Yeah, nice big fluid head on it, and then you could put a sandbag or something down there too.
Oh yeah,
At the
it'll
bottom.
hold. I think it'll hold it to a 45-pound sandbag.
Yeah, yeah, to balance it
So
out. Okay, so there you go. Let's see. Armin Axis says, Hank Strange, pretty sure we met you all in person at the last NRAM show 2019. That's probably, is that the last one I went to? Probably. You know. Yeah, there you go. And Brian Quick says size 18 shoe question mark. Is
yeah,
that a thing?
15 years old, man. By the way, like,
How big is a size
God
18
help me.
shoe? Like what is that? Like this?
Yeah, it's huge. So, well, I was gonna wait to the next session, but well,
Mhm.
here's one of the shoes I'm gonna show off in a minute anyway. So,
Okay.
this is a 13. All right.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
if this is a 13,
Mhm.
his foot's like out to here.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. There must be something in the water, man. I don't know.
He's a freaking monster and expensive as hell. And then I've made it worse on myself because I've got the kid used to fine cuts of steak.
Mhm.
So like he's like, yo, so we getting that ribeye tonight. I don't want it from Walmart. We got to go somewhere and get the right one.
Okay, time
Pretty,
for
pretty
a
good for him.
job.
Yeah,
Time for a
he's staying
job.
active though. The boy is in
Uh,
two sports right now. So right now he's wrestling. So he's having fun with that.
okay. So he does wrestling and what? Football?
Yeah, wrestling and football. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. There you go. Jeez. Yeah, imagine having to. I mean, my kids are skinny and it's tough to feed them. Seriously.
Whew.
You know? Because kids, man, they're growing.
Mm.
They're just, I could just imagine. You should just start buying
Yes,
your
sir.
meat by the cow, man. You should just sponsor a cow. Have you ever heard of that?
Cow. it's just it's cut. Man.
Do you know
Well,
you could do? Do you know you could do that? You could literally sponsor a
oh,
cow,
yeah.
and then they
And get all
butcher
the
it up. Yeah, and they just send it to you.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple of buddies that go in on one like once a year.
hmm
And they have it all cut up and sent out to them. That's a lot of meat too. You'd be surprised how long a cow will last.
Yeah.
A
The
lot
people
of
like
meat.
around where I live, people do that all the time. I've never done it, but they get another freezer and they do it. Yeah, man, and they just stack meat. It's
Nothing
pretty
wrong with
awesome.
it.
Yeah. And of course, you probably need to get him into hunting, man, so that he could feed himself.
Yeah.
hmm
We got 2 years left with him. Then he's well, we'll still be hunting, but he's headed off to the military. That's what he wants to do.
Okay.
Oh,
Does he know
Thank God.
what branch is he
Air
leaning to?
Force.
Air Force.
Yep,
Okay.
he's all about the Air Force. That's what he wants
Okay.
to do.
Okay.
Um, and his young mind, he's been talking about the military for like 5 years now.
Mhm.
And in his mind, he viewed the other branches as just killing machines. He didn't really understand, logistics and everything that goes into running,
Mhm.
military units. So he
Mhm.
was just like he's just a sweet kid. He's like, I will hurt somebody if I have to, but I'd rather not like just go kill people. And I'm like, son, that isn't. Like,
Mhm.
you just don't sign up and say, "Hey, I'm going to the Marines today, and let me just go out and start slaughtering people when I see them."
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
he also just started falling in love with engineering. It
Mhm.
happened a few years ago, so he's got a mathematical brain. He started really loving engineering. So we met with some recruiters, and we put him in. He's in our ROTC program, and we put
Mhm.
him in front of some people from different branches. I've had my friends sit on the phone with him that I know to serve, from special forces guys all the way down to family members we have in the military now. And so they've been very gracious in just having conversations with him. So after him doing his own research, he's still settled on the Air Force, and he wants to go in there for engineering. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's cool. So let's see here. We got a couple of things. Cruise Man says my 13-year-old daughter ain't cheap. They're talking about feeding. Um, LV Louis Cipher says all kids, especially male, are expensive. To quote Red Foreman. Uh, to quote Red Foreman. George Foreman, I'm assuming, from that 70. Oh, maybe Red Foreman's from the 70s show. I don't even know. I can't afford to feed you, but the law requires it. So there you go. And 42 Chilled wants to know the name of the guy in Georgia from the cow farm we had on. Yeah, that is, oh man, goes right out of my brain. Yeah, he does that farmer that does a lot of stuff with Eric from the Rock
Yeah,
Veteran.
he cooked
That
at the last
is,
event, didn't he?
yeah. Oh man, let me
Yeah, I forgot the name of him.
see.
Bear Creek Cattle. Bear Creek
Bear,
Cattle.
yeah, Bear Creek. Yeah. What is his name? Will Betty. Will Betty from Bear Creek Cattle. Yeah. I don't know if he sells whole cows. That'll be interesting. We gotta
Hmm?
we gotta find out about that. And Brian Quick says Air Force controls the nukes.
That is very true.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think in the military, regardless of what you want to do, they pretty much figure out what they want to do with you, right?
Yeah, that's what I told him. Like I explained to him, I said, "Look, son,
Mm-hmm.
um, look, keep your academics up because if they see 6'4", 6'5", 215 pound fool sign up, they're going to be like, right to the battlefield." That's what they're going to put you. They're going to say, right to the
Yeah.
battlefield. I
Mm-hmm.
said, you want to be a resource, and that's what all the other guys were telling him too. So um, he took the ASVAB and scored high. He qualified for any branch
Okay.
when he took the ASVAB. So he qualified for any branch. Um, we put him back in touch with the Air Force guy. They talked to him again. So in the Air Force, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's only whatever he gets there, he'll be happy with.
Absolutely right. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of a DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization like TUSC Crypto. TUSC Cryptocurrency is a firearm-friendly e-commerce option for online payment transactions, secured on the blockchain. So when you're in the crypto market, please consider TUSC, TUSC. All right, here we go. So whatever you want to talk about, Kevin Dixie, what's your
Oh, for the
what?
last 20.
Yeah. Are you going
I,
live tonight? So, because I always forget. Like when we no, you go live on Fridays, right? I'm trying to remember.
I used to
When
just
do
go
you?
live sporadically, but I don't think I'm going live tonight. I probably will go have me
Okay.
a nice cigar and chill. I
Oh,
don't know if
okay.
I'm gonna go live though.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
as far as what do I want to talk about? I don't know. I want
Have you? Do you want me to? Do you want me to bring up something? Here's something that's bothered me since the beginning. I think since the weekend, but we haven't
okay.
talked about it on the show. The girl that threw her baby in the dumpster. Did you see that?
Oh, that chick. Yeah, I saw that video, man.
What the hell
Um,
is happening, man? Why is that kind of stuff still happening in America?
because I don't think it's anything. I don't think. I mean, women have been doing that since the dawn of time. I don't see any stoppage to that. But that was absolutely horrible and tragic. I mean, and when you seen the clip, because I remember when the news story came out, then they got the video,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, man, she just pulled up and like it was
Just
literally a
tossed
bag of
it.
trash.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, man,
Yeah. Like no thought.
that
Like
was
yeah. I mean,
yeah, pretty horrible.
I put my garbage in the dumpster with more care than that.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I don't have an answer to how to stop it or anything like that. Um, but speaking of well, I don't want to even use that as a segue. Childhoods. I did get these guys, which is what I wanted to show.
Uh
So I don't know if
oh.
people know that I actually like shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like something I like to do. So these are and I like going back to the childhood every now and then. So these are the Toon Squad
Okay.
Nikes. Um,
Okay.
so I actually went
Who?
out and got the cat too.
So who designs Toon Squad? And what
So
is
this
that?
is Nike. This is a LeBron shoe, technically.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that's why it's got the king on the back of it. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it even says, I don't know if you can see it.
So these are LeBrons or something?
Yeah, they're bronze. They're made for the Space Jam, but they're bronze. And
Oh,
that one even
okay.
says, I think your internet's still moving funky, but
Yeah,
that
it is.
says right down here that says, "What's up, Doc?" I just think that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Um, and then over here it says, "This makes me very angry." So I'm going to wear those when I do gun control talks. Like, yeah, this makes me very angry having these conversations with you. But yeah, I like these. So that's something I want people to know about. Like, I like shoes. Like, and
Hmm.
I'm starting to be more comfortable talking about the other things
That
in
you're
life I
into?
like because we spend a lot of time fighting for
Hmm.
rights, and we don't spend enough time showing what we're fighting for.
Hmm.
Right? Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
let's show the cool stuff, man.
Yeah. So
Um,
outside of guns, what are you into since we brought that up? And by the way, let me just say this quickly. Like I'm a movie buff, so I saw the original. Oh, what the hell? We were just talking about it. That movie with LeBron. What is the movie again?
Space Jam.
Space Jam. Okay, I saw the original Space Jam with Michael Jordan, and then I
Mm-hmm.
actually saw LeBron James version of Space Jam. So what do you think? Did you see both?
I haven't watched it. Actually, I have not watched the Bron version of the movie yet.
Okay.
It's on it. I have it on. I don't know which one of them apps, but it's on my TV.
Hmm.
Um,
I think
I
it's
haven't got a
on. I
chance
want
to.
to say, what is it on? Is it on HBO or something like that? Maybe Disney. I don't know. Something like that.
It's on one of them. I
Yeah.
know I saw it.
Yeah.
I'll sit down and maybe on a plane. Maybe I'll try to download it and watch it on the plane one of these
Hmm.
trips I got coming up.
Yeah.
Which is where I normally get a chance to watch my
Hmm.
movies. But speaking of movies, okay, I
Hmm.
got to get this off my chest.
Oh boy.
Have you seen The Matrix?
I knew that was what you were gonna ask me. I knew that's yes. I've seen it. I have not seen the whole thing because it was so horrible. I went to sleep,
What
and
is that atrocity? What the hell were they doing? What was that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if it was a cash grab. I don't know if they deliberately made it horrible. I don't know. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why Keanu Reeves did that movie. I don't know why. That movie like negates all the stuff that he's done. Like after I saw that movie, I don't want to even see a John Wick. I don't want to because I'm like, what the hell is wrong with Keanu Reeves? Why did he do this?
God, man, that was so, so bad. It was
Very
so
bad.
bad. It was. I watched it on Christmas break, and
Mhm.
I didn't get a chance to sit down because
Mhm.
I was out of town. I was on workcation, and I was still working. But I'm
Mhm.
like, I'm going to get this movie in. So all the family went to sleep. It's like 2 a.m. I got no dogs. I got no kids. Wife is asleep. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna put this Matrix on, and I'm gonna go in. And I put it in. Oh, turned it on, and I dozed off. And you know what? I
Mhm.
said either it was so bad or I was so tired.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna hit the reset button.
Mhm.
And I waited. I got the chance again, but this time it was like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was woke on the evening, and I was woke.
Mhm.
And I sat on my couch,
Mhm.
and I went through something that was worse than any Joe Biden speech I've ever heard.
Mhm.
And it was so bad. I
Mm-hmm.
thought I thought literally Hollywood made a troll movie. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
have to be trolling me right now. This has to be the best and biggest and most expensive troll ever.
Well,
There's
it's a
no way the
thing.
movie can be this bad.
It's a thing in Hollywood now for them, for inside of the movie, for them to break the fourth wall and talk about them doing a remake. It's happened in several movies where they talk about, like, they talk about the fact that they're in a movie, which kind of like takes you out of it, especially if it's bad. If you do it right, I guess it's cool. But in that movie, they did that all through the movie. I didn't see the whole thing because Lola and I were looking at it, and usually Lola falls asleep first and doesn't see the whole movie. I was so annoyed by it, I just went to sleep. And then Lola went to sleep and we woke up and I was like, "Do you even want to try to see this again?" And neither one of us want to look at it. That's how bad it was. I don't even know
No,
how it ended. I don't care.
it it ended as
So,
bad as it started. It
yeah.
was horrible. Like
Yeah.
it was. Oh, you know what, man, I could, and I was so hyped for it.
Right.
Now my son is pressuring me to go see Spider-Man: A New Way Home this weekend. I'm tired of being disappointed.
I heard that's good, but I don't go to the movies. I'm over the movies, man. If I can't watch something in my house, Um, I don't know if I really want to watch it. It would have to be a really, really just amazing, spectacular thing for me to see it outside of the house. I think, like, for me, I feel like movies are for the young people. Because, TVs are amazing now, man.
I mean, that's true. They
Yeah,
are.
TVs are amazing. You could have an amazing sound system. You could pause that movie. You could get really good food. It's more. I would
Mhm.
rather pay them when a movie is in the movie theater. If it's a really good movie and I want to see it, I would rather pay them $50 and not go to the movie theater.
Just to have it at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like that, but um, yeah, the without a doubt, Matrix was really bad, and I lost faith with Keanu Reeves, man, for even being in that movie. I don't know
Yeah.
why he said yes to it, but it's bad. It's bad. Let's put it that way. And to not just skip off of Space Jam, I just want to go back to this for a second because I know I saw someone here said that they like, oh, what is it? LeBron is a tool. I'm not a fan of LeBron and a lot of things that he does, but how I look at things is I always try to judge things as evenly as I possibly can. And I saw the first Space Jam, and I don't think that was a good movie if you look at it like, you know, if you rank it as a movie, right? I think,
Hmm.
but I enjoyed that movie just from having Michael Jordan. Never into sports, but I don't know how you're not aware of Michael Jordan. Just like how are you not aware of who LeBron James is? But I thought that movie was a cool, fun movie when it came out. And then I looked at Space. I looked at the Space Jam with LeBron James, and I'm not saying that it's a good movie either, right? I think there was a lot of product placement in there and all that kind of stuff. But actually, LeBron James, I think, did a better job than Michael Jordan. So I would like, when you get a chance to check it out, let me know. I think he did a pretty good acting job.
Okay. I do know he's taking classes and
He's been
stuff like
acting. He's
that.
been in some movies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So when I was looking at it, I was, from my point of view of a filmmaker, I looked at it, and outside of like, there's people who are like, yeah, there's just they're just pushing all the, the Warner Brothers stuff and all that in there. But I think outside of that, without giving you any spoilers or whatever, I was like, oh, LeBron James, he's to me did a better acting job than if you go back and look at Michael Jordan doing it. So that's my opinion of that. So Night Train says LeBron James is also getting paid big bucks by the CCP. Lots of people are. So, which
Here's my thing. I'm never going to tell somebody what opinion I have about a person, et
hmm
cetera, et cetera. Um, but when it comes to, which is a part of life that I try to make sure that I do,
hmm
is take people and bring them to my side and be able to have conversations. So with a guy like LeBron, um, there's a lot of questionable things you can say about him for sure, and I'm not defending any of them.
hmm
However, this guy did open a school, right? He has paid for a lot of kids' collegiate careers. He has done a great job with teaching these young boys how to manage their money when they make it to professional sports across all sports. He's done a great job at that. He's even given kids that are in football. Hell, he did it for baseball. I think he did it for lacrosse. He does it for soccer. People that normally don't get exposure, he will put them on their platform, on his platform, for people can see them. So he's done a lot of great things. Now, does that forgive the things that he's done that are questionable and things like that? No. But at the same time, if we are going to totally dismiss people for things they do, like LeBron maybe didn't do it overtly, but he absolutely is questioning the vaccine. Like absolutely doing
I
that,
think a
right?
lot of
Like,
athletes are questioning it, right?
yeah, like
That's why the teams are staying out of it.
yeah, he put up the meme. He
Hmm.
shared that meme where it was like the three Spider-Men, and it was
Hmm.
like COVID, flu, something, and he was, like, what are we doing
Hmm.
here, right? So I
Hmm.
think there's a lot of different things you can pull from people, but for a 20-year-old kid, and when I'm out doing my thing, and this is all about,
Hmm.
relatability. When I'm
Hmm.
out doing my thing, and I got on some Space Jam, uh, LeBron's,
Hmm.
kid's gonna talk to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't
They're
knock you for
immediately
that.
gonna engage with me.
Yeah.
All right, it's gonna be like, oh man, what's that? And once I get that person, then we could talk about everything else up under the sun, right? So
Hmm.
I noticed that we can't steer away in the freedom community. We can't steer away from culture, and we
Hmm.
also have. And I'm not saying people in the chat were doing it.
Hmm.
I'm just saying this
Hmm.
in general. We also have to be careful about being dismissive of uh, of people because they say or do a couple of things we don't like. Like, I'm not a big fan of anybody coming out saying they're flat out anti-gun. That's going to get my antennas real quick. If they're not about supporting civil and human rights, my antennas go up. Other things that they do, and some of the things that even somewhat affect those,
Hmm.
man. And this was not only eye opening from just dealing with people, back in my neighborhood or when I travel. This is also something that I'm glad I was able to adapt to when it comes to dealing with athletes. So, I've trained. I can't tell you now how many professional athletes. I'm not allowed to share it because there's a lot of politics involved with the teams they're signed with and
Hmm.
things like that. But I've been on webcams and Zooms with Hollywood actors,
Hmm.
showing them how to, clean and handle their guns and engaging in gun conversations. Uh, they've invited me down to a couple of movie sets now. I got professional athletes coming on Stogies and Straps, right? From football, baseball, basketball. I got all these different people coming on. And one of the reasons that they haven't turned down those invitations is because I am approachable. And I
Hmm.
don't, dog them out, and it feels like I'm relatable in other ways. So there is a part of us that, even though people do things we don't like, we got to be careful about being totally dismissive
Hmm.
of them, because in the big grand scheme of freedom, I know a lot of people probably don't understand just how pro gun LeBron James is,
Hmm.
right? Like, when he first went to the Miami Heat, the first thing he did was went and shot a machine gun,
Okay.
right? Like, he was like, "Oh yeah, I need a couple of these in my house," and he's secretly, like, was always pro gun in Miami. He bought lots of guns.
Hmm.
So there are all kind of different things about people, but when it comes to culture, though, wrap all that up to say this: when it comes to culture, challenge them. You don't like something they said, man, stay on them. I'm cool with all that. But when it comes to being totally dismissive of them because something they said, uh, in my position, rather, if I constantly put that out there, when I reach out and say, "Hey, let's have this conversation because I want to introduce your 2 million or 8 million people that follow you and love you and breathe, your the dirt off your shoes." If I say, "Hey, I want to have this conversation, I want you to be part of it, if we can expose how I feel to your audience," if they feel like I hate them, they're not going to let me talk to their audience,
Hmm.
right? So it has to be really strategic in the
Hmm.
way, at a certain point, that we do things and we share our concerns.
Yeah, I think we have to be really careful about being dogmatic to anything. And there's definitely people I don't like, and there's people like, I mean, on the extreme end, right? I try to reserve my hate for just a very few people, where I just hate their face. There's some people that no matter what, you don't like them. And I get that, but I try to not be dogmatic to anything. And as long as I don't hate that person's face, I can always be open to listen to what they have to say, is what I'm trying to say to you. You know, I think sometimes what happens in a community like the gun community, or just amongst people like us who believe in general the kind of things we believe, we are very put upon by a lot of society, right? Media, social media platforms, all that kind of stuff. So because we get suppressed so much, how can we take it out? How can we, who do we get to take our aggression out on because we don't get a voice? In a lot of cases, we don't get the same voice that some of these people get to say things that we don't like to say. So I think that's where a lot of the anger, where people are like, nope, I'm not even gonna like consider anything this person has to say or anything that they have to do. And I try not to be like that. That's why, like, so if we're talking about Space Jam or something like that, I'm not gonna go, yeah, that's a piece of crap, or screw that. I'm not even gonna look at that thing. I'm gonna look at it. If there's something interesting in that, I'm gonna look at it. Like, I'm a filmmaker, I'm an artist, I'm a creative person, and I especially like animation and all that kind of stuff. So if something involves that, I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna try to put aside how I feel about a particular person in there, because how many, I mean, there's like everyone in Hollywood, we could find something that they've done or said that we really freaking hate them for, right?
Absolutely.
So if we close the door on everything, we can't discover anything. So I'll at least try to look at it, and that's why I could safely say to you guys, it wasn't like complete utter trash. It was way better than Matrix. If you're gonna compare Space Jam with LeBron James to Matrix with Keanu Reeves, and we all love Keanu Reeves in the gun community. Everyone loves Keanu Reeves, right? So, and plus with John Wick, he's a gun guy. If you're gonna compare Matrix, which is a remake of the Matrix, and Space Jam, which is a remake of Space Jam with LeBron James, I will take Space Jam 10 times over. I will never watch the Matrix again. Not that one, and to me it spoiled even whatever came before that. And
Yeah,
that's
it
just,
was that bad.
yeah, that's just me being straight up about it. But I think everyone can't do that. And a lot of times it's just because those people are frustrated for lots of different reasons with things going on. And I think that's what's happening with someone like LeBron James. And on top of that, I wish that some of the guys like LeBron James, and I don't want to like make him the only person, if you do have that platform and if you're really open to have these conversations, maybe use that and put some people on there. I would love to see you like what's the thing that he does in the barbershop? Is it called the barbershop or something?
Oh, the barbershop? Yeah, that's what it's called. The shop
Yeah.
or the barbershop.
Yeah, I would love to see
Yeah,
you
you know
do
what?
something like that, or, him open that up to you or other folks to do. Right?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of why, to your point, that's why we have to stay in a position to be able to reach out. Like, it's so strategic. Um, and it doesn't mean you compromise, but you have to be very smart and strategic and methodical. Because if we're going to spread the message, we have to be able to take our message, even if we have to use something else as a Trojan horse. We have to be able to take our message into these other arenas, right? In these
Mm-hmm.
other cultures. And we have to be able to do it. And it's not necessarily an easy thing to do, and it comes with some tough conversations. Minute warning.
Oh, look at you. You're
Uh,
trained.
I'm
You're
on it.
trained already, man. You got
Yes, sir.
Pavlov response. Sorry.
It comes
Go
with
ahead.
some tough conversations, but it also
Mm-hmm.
opens the door up. Just like I'm going to leave his name out of it, but I got a politician that's coming on my show in a few weeks down here from this general area, and he's a pro-gun Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really going to have a lot of conversations about what does pro-gun mean to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So but if I just put him in a box saying, "Oh, you're anti-gun because you're a Democrat,"
Mm-hmm.
then he would have never agreed to the show because he's like, "You're closed-minded anyway. Why would I come just have an argument with you, right?"
Mm-hmm.
But him knowing that, like, oh, this guy seems pretty approachable, pretty reasonable. So all that to be said, man, we just have to be able with our frustrations, which are valid,
Mm-hmm.
we also have to understand that we have to. There's a bigger world. If we want to get into their world, we got to be methodical about it.
Absolutely. Shout out to Christian Grest out there. I think haven't seen him here at all or in a while. So we'll be right back after this break right here. Oh, actually, there wasn't any break. I haven't put this break in yet.
Oh, okay. So
Okay,
we got,
yeah,
what, 20 minutes left?
this is the last segment here. Okay, so listen, I don't know, man. I think that it's a tough thing. Like, we have to really think about what we're gonna do here. How we're gonna move on to this. Are we gonna stay in this crazy cycle? That's what I'm thinking while you're saying what you're saying. For us in the gun world, we're in this crazy cycle, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Like, right now, with everything going on in the world, the gun manufacturers have no problem selling guns. They're selling lots of guns. Okay? They're making lots of money. No one's thinking about the future. we've had many, many years now. We could probably stack like a good, I would say at least like 6, 7, years that these guys made a lot of money, even if it looked like it was going down. But they're not doing anything thinking about the future. And the problem with that is while they're not thinking about the future, like, how are they going to get their voice out there? Where are they going to be able to say things? Because what we're talking about here is who talks. And I think
Hmm.
everyone should have the right to talk, and people should have the right to listen to them if they want to, and nothing should get in the way of that. So we might be getting mad at like athletes, let's say, because they say something, we don't like it, the media puts it up there, we're mad about it, and we hate them. And then on our side, when we say something, we don't even we're closed off. The gate is closed off to us, so we don't even get to put out there so that people can get mad to us and we languish. Well, the funny thing is, the community that we're in is not even thinking about that or spending any of all this money and everything that's coming in to do something about it. What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
You know what, Hank? I cannot debate or even add on to anything you said because that is such a simple way of explaining what I've been saying to people for so many years. It's like, man, look, I know I'm known for getting hype and ranting and going off. I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm passionate about people, and I'm passionate about this country and our issues, right? So I get hype every now and then, but in a very sober mind. That's one of the reasons why I started this thing,
Mm-hmm.
this whole Stogies and Straps, right? To where we can have a platform that we understand as freedom based, but we can get out there and we can have a good space for people to come and talk about pop culture. And I want to have different people on because we have to have that voice out there. And it would be a great idea for the gun manufacturer to be like, yo, with podcasting taking off the way that it has, why don't we heavily continue to sponsor these podcasts, make sure that if nothing else, they got the revenue to keep going and keep having these conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can have a marketing platform. We can
Mm-hmm.
have outlets. We can get our products and our voice in front of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll be great to see a show that's talking about economic reform, and then in a commercial you see a Safari Land commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and that's exactly what I'm doing with that platform. It's I want to bring um, a different spin and show people, lead them by example, to say this is what we should be doing because this is where we're going to go. Um, that's something that we have to make sure that we focus on, and that's if we don't, you're going to be what? You're going to still be relying on Instagrammers, and let's face it, man, everybody's relying on these social media platforms. Okay, cool. How many big pages has Instagram taken just within the last 30 days?
A lot, man. A lot of people are getting hit, not just on Instagram, lots of different places for lots of different reasons. And I'm not saying that there aren't companies out there doing it. Like, obviously, in this show, there's companies that support us, even all with all the things that we've gone through. That's why I spent time trying to build up, what we're doing here, because we're literally we had to stop doing this on YouTube because they wouldn't let us, not just that they wouldn't let us handle guns, but they've got so many locks on us that we can't get an audience on YouTube for the podcast. I mean, I have like YouTube gave me a freaking plaque, man, when I hit 100,000 subscribers, and I'm at 118,000 since then, and I can't get, no matter what I do with a video, how much I promote it, I can't get a video to hit 2,000 views. That's locks on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this. And I'm a person who could easily stop doing the gun thing and do something else and make money. When I tell you, I know who I am and what I'm capable of, right? So this is the problem, I think that, and I'm not trying to say it because the industry needs to do something to get behind me. Everyone's going to lose if people don't start investing in us having a voice. And that's more important to me than like anything else. You know, I would advise these guys to buy some radio stations if you could do it. Get some TV stations. I know that's old media, but get up on that. Yes, so figure out how we can have our own version of a Facebook or version of a YouTube, or how you could support that and have ownership over that. It doesn't have to be just gun stuff going there, but you want to own that if you want to stay in it. And I'll give you an example because there are people trying to do it. But there's what's the do you remember the name of the Trump backed platform that's out there? I think it's like, what is it?
Oh yeah, the one that they had some issues with that too. What was the name of that thing?
Yeah, GTT or something like that. Someone will tell us because the dudes in the chat are pretty much on top of a lot of this stuff, right? And we're kind of preaching to the choir here, but that thing in the last, from what I heard today, in the last couple of days, they've kicked off like 2 gun guys already for having gun stuff on there.
Mm.
And they've told one of them, yeah, we'll put you back on there if you delete that gun thing. And this is supposed to be our, like, or someone's going
Yeah,
to try to sell it. Someone's going to try to sell it to us like it's our thing. Or someone who we might all support or vote for or whatever. And all of that thing, that's more dangerous to me. And it's the reason why I say, like, if I'm really going to reserve my hate, there's certain people who I just don't like their faces. I'm not going to lie. you know? And I get that. But really, our energy all is better spent trying to figure this out. Or, like, the way I see it, at least fighting. Like, I believe some people, if they see that they can't win a fight, you know what they do, Kevin? They don't
Well,
fight. They don't fight. There's some people, if they see, like, hey, I can't win this fight, they don't do it. And that is,
true.
if you're already there in that fight and you decide, hey, I can't win, and you don't fight, then why do you even get up every day? Why do you breathe? Why do you eat?
You know what's even crazier about that? Um, in a different spin to it. Not only will people not get in a fight that they already figure they're going to lose,
Mm-hmm.
we judge and rank the people that have been battle tested and are still pushing forward to speak freedom. We rank them and give them value based off the same platforms that they're fighting and losing against at times. And we say that are anti-freedom. So you'll look at somebody's page and be like, oh, I'm only going to value this person so much because they have 3,000 followers.
Yeah.
Well, this person has 748,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to value what they say more than this person with 3,000 followers. Well, the problem is the person with the 748 probably got in before the restrictions got real tight,
Mm-hmm.
and they were able to skate with a lot of stuff. The guy with 3,000 might have awesome content, might be saying some pretty cool stuff, but because you're new within the last couple of years, we're just gonna squeeze you to the bottom. You're
Yeah.
not gonna get anywhere. And then pro freedom people are still like rating and valuing them based off the platform that hates them and the kind of reach they're giving them. And I'm like, and it's the same thing with companies and sponsorships. You know this, like I know this.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go and they'll look at your page and they'll base, their conversation with you based off the page. And I'm like, well, first of all, how are you arguing with me about followers when I got more than your business? Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two,
Mm-hmm.
um, you do understand that the platforms now are suppressing freedom very, 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 very heavy.
Right.
Um, that's the reason why they'll take some people that have amassed 1 million people and be like, oh, yeah, we're just ready to get rid of you now. And they just get rid of them. So we have to reprogram the way we look at this thing. And I think the best thing to do is to infiltrate them. To be honest with you, I don't argue ownership of anything. Right? That's
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I'm trying to do down here in Georgia. And I've told you about this behind the scenes. We had a minor setback, but then we had
Mm-hmm.
a pretty good thing come through. So all
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say is big shouts out to USCCA and Brownells
Mm-hmm.
because what they've got behind me doing in the state of Georgia this year is going to be freaking awesome when I can't actually talk about it.
Cool.
So they saw that vision, and so big shouts out to them for seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then big shouts out to even the vision behind Train and Learn, how we're doing things different there. We got
Mm-hmm.
I hate to start a name, but Brownells, Armory Arms, USCCA, Tactical Life, Carolina Custom Foam, Guns for Everyone, Black Guns Matter, and anybody else I forgot, Rob's Guns. We got a lot of different people.
A lot of people get behind you
Yeah,
on that. Yeah, which is
yeah,
awesome.
that are poured into that.
Yeah.
So,
Without looking at your numbers. This is the thing I always tell people,
oh,
Don't
Hank, you know what? You
I
won't
mean,
believe this.
look at the
I took a
dude. If you look
screenshot.
at the dude, you're like you have if someone looks at you, Kevin, and they don't go, "This guy right here, the only thing this dude needs is they should just say, Kevin, oh, like, here's the blank check, man." Because that's the only thing that's missing. Everything else is there. Everything else is there. There's lots of other people, that companies and all that out there. That's why, yes, kudos deserved to those companies who do it, like Barnauls. I know for a fact they, like Barnauls, with all the stuff that we're going through and all that, they have our back.
Can you see this?
Let me see. I'm close up on it. Yeah.
So that's 27.2 followers on Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at what it says my reach is.
31.
231 million to 272
231,
million.
right. Mm-hmm.
But yet I get 1,500 views on a really popular video. Maybe, one video I got like 15,000. But that's still even low.
But that's Instagram is controlling. That's with Instagram controlling, what's happening, man.
So, but and even with the 2A companies, that's why I wanted to give love where love is due. I see a lot of them are actually, enough of them, the ones I named, and I probably forgot a few, they are seeing the light, and it's like, yo, let's get it done. Because I argued this a little while ago. I said, I'm not saying you could do this for everybody. I'm not even saying I should be one of the people. I challenge.
No. You should definitely be one of the people. Companies out there need to support you. I'm not going to accept that. You should be one of the people that should get more support, because I think you're genuine. I honestly think you're genuine. I think you have an incredible talent even outside of your actual gun talent. I don't think your biggest talent is like what you do with training and all of that kind of stuff. I think that your approach of how you do things is an incredible talent that people don't see. So I could sit here and just keep going on. People absolutely need to support what you're up to. No, and there's other people out there. I'm not trying to say there's not other people. But yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Mm-hmm.
No, you're fine. Thank you. I appreciate the flowers, man. I really do. Thank you so much. I just want people to understand and see that if we're going to win this thing, right? This freedom, this whole game of freedom. It's not a game really, but if we're going to play it,
it's a fight.
Get to victory.
It's a fight, man. It's in the streets. It's like guerrilla warfare. It's urban, house to house. This fight is like, it's not a joke. The problem is we're very comfortable, so we don't realize like how serious it is until it's too late.
But you know what we do? You know what we do? We attack even when we have people that are pushing forward as a community, as a collective. I'm not talking about you as an individual or me as an individual or people in the chat as individuals, as a collective. Mm-hmm. We look for an opportunity, even for the people that are sharing information about freedom, whether it's just doing guns and politics or whatever. Mm-hmm. We wait for them to do something that we don't like and we drill them. So you can take influencer, whatever that means. Mm-hmm. You can take influencer A and put that individual up, and they can put out 100 different posts, right? Mm-hmm. And people will, engage with the post slightly, but let out of those 100, one of those posts be, the rifle was on fire as he was talking to the camera. You can see the safety selector in the wrong position, and that's when everybody will jump in and they'll have something to say.
Yeah,
right. That post will be the post. It'll fly off the chain. But when he puts up something like, "Hey, this is what I want you guys to know. Share this, comment on this." Crickets, right?
You know what? I saw that. The only reason I'm saying this is because I saw that happen to Such, and I didn't get a chance to publicly say anything about it just because everything's been crazy or whatever. But I was really disappointed in what happened. Like, I know I see that there's people who don't necessarily like Such, but Such has been a resource for a lot of us in the gun world, including myself. Right before I started doing this, I looked at people like Such. Nothing Fancy, Iraq Veteran, Military Arms Channel, Hickok 45. And Such is a good dude, whether you like his style or not. And I think he did something in that latest thing that was a mistake. I get it. You know what's really crazy? He owned up to it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like man level shit right there. He owned up to it and took the blows for it and came out and said, hey, we messed up. We did the wrong thing. And people are still. And I'm like, what is happening? You know what I'm saying? Just think about that. Stuff like that. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people do it. Just like, I
Hmm.
have and Christian, I just got a chance to look at the chat, man. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate the kind
Hmm.
words. I really do.
Yeah, he says,
Um,
having spent a few days with Kevin, he has an extraordinary ability to relate to everyone. That's the best way I can describe his ability. Truly impressive. I agree with that.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I think people, even when it comes to me, I'll put up something dealing with, race. And anybody that follows me know that I don't jump out there and be like, everything's racist. That's not my spiel. Never
Hmm.
has been.
Hmm.
So I normally take the time. You go to Instagram. Some of my captions are like novels. you know, and I'm doing
Uh-huh.
my best to talk to people because I'm just trying to explain things,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
give them some perspective and share with them. And you'll have people jump over there and be like, on whatever the hot button issue is, and oh, this is stupid, and you're anti-American, and I'm like, what? Nobody's gonna keep running around and avoiding the conversations and dismissing who they are and their life experiences because it makes you uncomfortable.
Hmm.
We are supposed to be uniting and combining our different lifestyles, our different approaches, our different thought processes to become a greater machine for freedom, a greater machine for justice, right?
Hmm.
One beautiful thing social media has done is it gave us all connectivity. I can reach out to Hank now. We don't have to just argue,
Hmm.
back and forth, over text messages or whatever.
Hmm.
I can find and reach out to most people that agree to be on these platforms.
Hmm.
So we have an opportunity to use that for good. And I still see people only wanting to drive it for negative. And I'm like, that's why
Hmm.
I've never attacked a 2A instructor. You don't
Hmm.
see me attack,
Hmm.
right? And I tell people all the time, one, I can normally just call people. If I got a problem, I just call
Hmm.
them.
Hmm.
That's one. Two, there's no need for that, right? Because if the rest of the world's attacking them, why am I jumping on the guy's throat,
Right.
right? Let's
Absolutely.
whatever.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, but I see people doing that, and I'm like, you do realize, guys, in this ultimate fight, there are literally millions of people,
Hmm.
right? And I just showed you the proof. There are literally millions of people that will come over to my page or wait for me to go somewhere for they can hear my opinion because they understand that I relate to them. And it's
Hmm.
not just a skin thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, it's culture,
Hmm.
it's experiences. And when something else happens, and it's my opportunity to speak up for that group of individuals, and I'm dismissive of them, then it disappoints them and they walk away. It'll
Hmm.
be no different than if I went somewhere and we were talking about economics, and I went on a platform to talk about that, right?
Hmm.
Behind me is a master's degree in this kind of stuff,
Hmm.
right? So if we go
Hmm.
somewhere and I'm talking about that and they bring up guns and they start attacking gun rights and I'm quiet,
Hmm.
then the gun community is going to be disappointed in me, and they're going to say, "Oh, we thought that you would have our back anywhere you went, man. That's pretty disappointing that you had an
Right.
opportunity to speak up for us and you didn't do it."
Yeah.
So,
And,
what do you think other people with life experiences are feeling when we talk about something that's affecting them? And there's a large portion, not all, but there's a large portion of people that say they believe in freedom, and then they look for an opportunity to yell about it and argue about it. And like, guys, these people that might be 15 million Americans that relate to this one particular thing we're talking about, they're looking at you and they know this is a gun-based platform. They
mhm.
know this is a freedom-based platform. And all they're saying is, oh, this is how those people think. So we all
Yeah.
just got to be smart,
Yeah,
man.
people need to see for people to have faith in you when they know, and we may run a little long here, but whatever. Um, people need to have faith in you when they see you that, they're going to put more trust in you if those certain tough issues, they see you stand up for it and say what you have to say on it, regardless of people, on your own side attacking you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
They need to see that because they go, okay, this person is genuine. And I think it's perspective. Like what you have is perspective. This is the thing a lot of people miss. They think this is why we have that thing of like, how there's the joke that, hey, these people only have like one black friend. So you
Yeah.
might even you see it maybe in TV shows, movies, or even in like real life with people, they only have one black friend. And in some cases it's because that person thinks that's the only thing. You only need that one person. They have the perspective of everything. It's like if we only had one white friend.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel? This one white person, has this perspective of every single white person. No, all of us as human beings, if you truly believe what you're saying, all of us as human beings have different perspectives. So even for me as a black guy, right? I value your perspective, Maja's perspective, Devin's perspective for lots of different reasons. Like Devin is a young dude, and I value his perspective because we grew up in a different generation. I value Maja's perspective, for lots of different reasons, especially he's like super ghetto, but still very classy. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing for
Yeah.
you. And I think I've told you before. Like, one of the things is that as a black person, I was not born in America, right? I was born
Mhm.
in a third world country. I was born in Guyana, and I've lived in other places in the world. So my perspective for you as a dude born here in America, in the part of America that you were born in, which, like where you grew up, man, that's completely different from a guy who grew up in New York City,
Right.
right? So I need to sit there and listen to your perspective. I can't go, hey, look at the color of my skin, man. I know everything about this. I have to sit there and listen to you, right? And think like,
Right.
okay, why is Kevin coming at this from this point of view, even though I might disagree with you, like when we when
Yeah.
we when we have conversations, I might disagree, but I need to go, okay, there's a reason why Kevin is coming at this from this perspective and this point of view.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, man, and everything you just said. I'm the next event after shot that I'm going to do is in rural Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
and it's with a bunch of white redneck dudes, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you know why they invited me not to come just to come to
Mm-hmm.
their event. They invited me to speak at it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's because they understand that I'm gonna stand. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say wherever I'm at. Don't
Mm-hmm.
matter. But two, I'm coming with love and grace, and the mission is for us all to be stronger and better.
And
And guess what?
they want to hear your perspective, man.
Yeah, and they know I'm not going to yell at them. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
make them feel stupid. I'm going to answer questions and give you perspective. And you know what the beautiful thing about that is? Everywhere I go, what I normally make it a habit to do is that once I'm done and we have a conversation about how I feel, I will sit down with people and say, "Tell me about yourself,"
Mm-hmm.
because I want to hear you. I want to hear how you see things. Where did you grow up at? What were your life experiences?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about these things? And no matter
Mm-hmm.
what it is, I want you to give it to me raw and uncut because that's the only way we can truly start sharing with each other. And we
Mm-hmm.
might not walk away agreeing 100%. Me and you don't walk away agreeing 100%, but we're still friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just about exchanging and growing. So when somebody comes at me and says, all the people over here think this way, I'm like, I can't, maybe a high percentage, maybe, but not all, because I remember talking to Hank, who comes from that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not the way he feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and then the one last thing I'll leave people with, and this is something I wanted to, I want to say, and it's my latest, and it's a very mean argument to have. So I be careful about the way I present it. But we keep hearing this 13% responsible for 52%. So Hank, I'll ask you a question, and while you're answering the question, hopefully the chat is paying attention. I will see if
What
one or
does
two
that?
people will
I
answer.
never heard that thing. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I never heard that
So the
13.
question is this:
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you. Let me give you a scenario, rather. I cannot tell you whether you're going to win or lose. I have no idea, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm rubbing got this crystal ball, and
Mm-hmm.
I know that at 7 p.m. on Thursday, Hank Strange is going to be in a gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to be the victim of said gunfight, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
going to be the person responding to the bad guy. But I can tell you that you're going to be in a gunfight at 7:30 on Thursday. That is a
Mm-hmm.
guarantee. That is going to happen. I cannot tell you whether you're going to win or lose. I have
Mm-hmm.
no idea. You could win. You could lose. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I do know is you can do one of two things. You can say, okay, I opt into the gunfight, and hopefully my training is up to par. Hopefully my situation awareness is good, and hopefully I defeat the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can walk away from the gunfight. It'll never happen. But if you choose to walk away from the gunfight, guaranteed in your area, could be yours, could be your neighbors, but somebody's young child close, that same person that you would have entered that gunfight with is going to go rape and molest that child. And there's nothing you can do to stop that. You won't know exactly what house it's in. You won't know. There's nothing you can do to stop it, but you know it is going to happen to that kid if you avoid the gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
Does Hank Strange engage in a gunfight, or does Hank Strange allow what's going to happen to the child with rape and molestation to occur?
No, 100%. I go into it. It doesn't matter what happens. It's my destiny.
Right. You go into the gunfight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I would hope you would say, and I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
to hear you say it, even though your answer is just your answer. I
Mm-hmm.
would do the exact same thing. And I'm pretty sure a high 90 percentile, 90 something percentile of the people in the chat and other people in the world would say the same thing. Like, what kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation? Hell yeah, let's fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Gun, brick, bat, gasoline, grenade. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get in the fight because I don't want this innocent child to be, harmed in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that, we can say that you value the sanctity and safety of a child more than you are concerned about general violence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would engage in general violence first because the safety and sanctity of the children is so paramount and important, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we are we are living in a world where man will say what you just said
Mm-hmm.
with the understanding of how I just explained what you're truly saying, and they'll nod their heads in agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're trying to have a conversation about forwarding this country, and we start getting into some really, really, nitty gritty stuff,
Uncomfortable. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
they'll start saying 13% of the population is responsible for 52% of the murders or violent crimes. I'm like, okay, we're not. I don't even have to go into debunking that or talking about it. I just want to ask you a question. Based off the way you just answered that question, we understand that our children are more important than addressing violence, right? General robberies, people like that.
Mm-hmm.
If 13% is responsible for 52%, and people are using that as an argument against the black culture or black people,
Mm-hmm.
then can you tell me what race and gender of people are responsible for 62% of the child rapes in this country?
I I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming from the path of our conversation, it's gonna be white people.
White men.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
62% of
Mm-hmm.
the sexual violations of children come from white men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, that is not fair to say. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody is sitting in front of me having a conversation about protecting our kids, I'm not going to go, get all the white dudes because they're the problem. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, get all the people that are violating children and let's deal with them. I don't give a damn what color they are, where
Mm-hmm.
they come from, what they do. You're violating the sanctity of children. We need to deal with you accordingly and appropriately. Doesn't matter which group is doing it the most because somebody kept a chart. I don't
Yeah.
care about that.
Violence is a human being problem. You know, it's like when people try to
Exactly.
say that men are the violent ones and not women. I'm always like, do you know any women?
Oh, yo, shit.
When people try to say that, right? It's the same vein. People try to say that it's the men. And so if we allow something like that, at some point they'll say, you know what? Why do we need these men? We don't need these men because the men are responsible for the violence. No, human beings are responsible for violence. It doesn't matter
Yep.
what the statistics say. You know, we meet our destiny when we meet it. We don't know, what shape it comes in, and it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, it's and that's why I want that same mentality you have right now in that statement is what I want Americans to realize. But you know what, man? As long as you're going with these talking points
Mm-hmm.
and you're not digging deeper into them, imagine somebody sitting on TV and said the thing that I just said, and they meant it in malice, not as a
Mm-hmm.
educational moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
They really truly meant it in malice to shut down. Oh, you want to talk about percentages? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then what is that going to do? That's going to further the fuel. But you can't. Once people are like, well, you can't argue the numbers. Well, you can't argue those numbers. Well, so what are we dealing with? Are we dealing with numbers? Or are we dealing with the human condition and human actions? And we need to go out and address human beings and deal with them accordingly. And that's really where I want to push people. It's like, man, get out your echo chambers and your boxes and come from under those talking points. And it's okay. We're all here to help each other do better, man. We're all here to push each other forward. If Hank Strange says something to me I've never thought about, and I'm really good with saying I've never thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that. Even when it came down to something as simple about advising me about equipment, I clearly listen,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, so I want to know, I want to understand, I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really wish that there will be a part of that that will seep into the American spirit and into the American brain and get people to say, you know what? Let me let go of my bias, because we all have them. Let me let
Mm-hmm.
go of my prejudice, because we all have them. Let me let go of the talking points and the echo chambers, and let me sit across from someone that I know is at least trying to do the same thing as me as far as letting all that stuff go, and let me hear them. Let me really absorb and understand. Not don't let me just listen and I'm waiting on a opportunity to have a rebuttal and cut
Mm-hmm.
them off to look for another point of contention to argue. Let me really get into a mindset in a space with this other person, this other human being, or this other American, and say, I want to know how I don't need Democrats, Republicans, independents. I want to know how we, as human beings with different backgrounds, cultures, experiences, and everything else, can have a rational conversation that leads to understanding, that leads to a plan, that leads to actions to make our country better and make it better for everyone that's moving around this place in this world and is going after this thing called freedom. So I really want people to get to that, but we're not going to get to that as long as we're still trying to share the highest viewed clip. And we're just saying the talking point because you think it shuts down the argument, because I just gave you an example how somebody can use that same pretense against you. And it seems really mean and malice and like, God, why would you say that? Then why would you constantly look at 13% of the population and point the finger at them and say they're doing half the violent crimes in the country? Mm-hmm. Right? So we're not really getting knee deep into the conversations that we need to be having. I don't give a damn about what your favorite politician said, man. I give a damn about you and your family being able to eat. I give a damn about the fact that you have a job. I give a damn about inflation. I give a damn about the fact that you're trying to keep your family together and you want to give your kids something that you didn't have. That's what I care about. I care about the human being. I care about your experiences. I don't give a damn if you're white, black, orange, or purple. Can you feed your family? Are you leading your family? Do you have goals and missions in life? Are you trying to achieve more? Are you breaking generational curses? Are you fixing things that need to be fixed in your life in the human experience? Or are we going to constantly sit back and let maybe 0.5% of the world tell us how to think and how to feel, and then we walk out after being brainwashed by all these people and have the nerve to say, oh, the media is evil and I'm free. You're not. You're a slave of the same thing. They just convinced you that you're free. If you really want to know what freedom is like, man, go somewhere different than where you're used to. Take all that tough guy crap off, and really sit down and have a conversation with a fellow American with a totally different background than yours, and ask them the tough questions. But don't ask to be a jerk. Ask to really get understanding. Ask to really see life through their shoes. That's why I appreciate the people in the Second Amendment community. They're like, hey, KD, I had several of them. Will you please take me to where you grew up? Because I want to see it. And you're damn right I did. And their life experience after coming out of that was different. Right? They really understood what I was saying. So I really, really want people to get there, man. I want them to be able to see that. It's the same thing. Then I'll shut up because I know we got to go. It's the same
man,
thing.
You're doing good.
Mm-hmm. That is rebirthed when we come to the use of the N-word. We have people that are still like, hey, why, if rappers are doing it, and if people in movies are doing it, why can't I say the N-word? I'm like, man, you know what? Why don't we think about this another way? Because sometimes we're trying to answer a question that no matter how many times we give an explanation, all you're going to do is have a rebuttal to say, well, I don't agree with that. You need to give me something better. I will never be able to pay you enough in knowledge to get you to submit to say, okay, cool, you win. It's an ongoing battle. So I challenge the perspective this way. There is another very popular thing in our country, and it's gangster movies, right? By like Italians, right? And so, Godfathers, I know it's not Italian, but Scarface and all these other movies in that genre that have been out since the 50s. They're making gangster films, right? And in these gangster films, I hear, like The Irishman, I hear them using derogatory terms toward each other all the time in these movies. And I love these movies. I'm absorbing them. Watching Narcos and all this stuff. These people aren't from where I'm from, but I am listening to them use derogatory terms toward each other, really insult each other, and having battles over it. You know what I've never done? I've never once got through absorbing hours of that content throughout my lifetime and went out and used that derogatory language toward anyone. Mm-hmm. So my question isn't why you can't use it. My question is, why do you want to? Mm-hmm. Why are you so upset? Because people won't appreciate you using a derogatory term. If I walk up to an Italian gentleman and I say something insulting that I heard off of a movie, I might have a consequence coming my way because of that. So the question isn't why can't you say it? The question is, why do you want to?
Right? Of course you're free. But think about it this way. If you have a wife, and you want to be able to say whatever you want to say, call your wife a bitch. See how that goes.
Oh, jeez.
If you think you can say whatever you want to say, right? That's the thing. You're right. You're right. I hear that. I listen to rap music. I hear that. I don't talk to Lola like that unless I'm expecting pain. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So listen, man, you know what? I never have a conversation with you that I don't feel, that I take something amazingly valuable away from it. I'm sure the folks out there feel that same way too. So I didn't want to get in there because I think, um, uh, I think you were saying some really good things that I hope people really take the time to think about, man. I appreciate you doing that. So listen, here's what we should do. We got to wrap this up real quick. Um, let's just tell the folks out there if they want to find out more about Kevin Dixie, where do they need to go?
Oh man, the real NOC for No Other Choice, which is the name of my firearms training company. The real NOC on all your major platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all of them, including anything else you can think of. If I'm on it, it's the real NOC. You can. I want you to also on all those platforms look up Stogies and Straps, especially YouTube. We really need that push on YouTube where we can start doing some live streams from actual cigar bars and talking to people real time at random. I got a really cool concept and idea. So please go ahead and go over to YouTube and subscribe. That'd be greatly appreciated. That is Stogies and Straps. You can also find it on all your platforms. YouTube and Instagram are the big pushes, but you can find them everywhere. NoOtherChoice.com is our website. So if you're looking for training, please come over there and look at nootherchoice.com, see what we have to offer. You also lock it in stogiesandstraps.com. That's going to be our blog site where you're going to be able to go over there, look at all stuff gun related, cigar related, lifestyle related. We're going to have the podcast is going to be hosted on that platform as well. So, check that out, stogiesandstraps.com. We're going to have all our deals, affiliate links, and all that stuff over there for you. It's a lifestyle page. I think you'll really enjoy it. And that's how you reach out to us. If you have any direct questions, please feel free to send me a DM or email us at info@nootherchoice.com. And if you have something personal you want to say to me and you don't want my team to see it because it might be some personal information, just KD for Kevin Dixie, KD@nootherchoice.com, and I will get back to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, KD. I really appreciate it. If you folks, if you like me, please go check out Kevin Dixie because he's taking a lot of time here to come on the show, and I know he could do other things, so I really appreciate it. And if you appreciate it, you could show that by going and checking out something that he has going on. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run in the end here, and then we're going to come back and some quick words of wisdom from you, and then we're going to let the folks who are still hanging on out there, and I appreciate all those folks who are out there listening to us. By the way, we're not going to do a show tomorrow. There's too much stuff going on, and I need to take care of that stuff and get a break. But so we'll see you guys next week. We're going to be doing things. It's going to be kind of weird because SHOT Show is going on and all that, but you guys will see me out there. So I'll hit you up on social media. Let me run in the end real quick here. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening to us here, watching the show, all that stuff. If you want to, catch us on a podcast, audio podcast, here's what you do. You just go you can go to Amazon, you can go to Audible, you can go to iTunes, you can go Spotify, we're everywhere if you want to listen to us on audio. KD, words of wisdom, and we're out of here.
I would say this: spend some time taking care of the number one rule in life, and that is self-preservation. So find something that you can do that will refuel you, that will replenish you, and in the process of you making yourself a better you, include the way you treat other people. So find a way this year to pour into yourself, to rejuvenate yourself and take care of yourself. And in that process, make sure you're coming out as a better human being that also knows how to extend that same level of mercy and grace and replenishing other people so we can all push forward and be better for it.
Awesome. Kevin Dixie, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you. I really respect you, and I love you, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Love you too, man. Appreciate it.
Right.
Ditto right back at you.
All right, guys. We are out of here. We'll see you. We're out. Let me hit this button.
Oh, well, I forgot the piece.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
I forgot the piece. I was slow with the piece.